Hey, everybody. It's a pleasant good morning. It's a Friday morning, and it is already the 8th day of August. Welcome to Breakfast with Roger and Friends on WAZU FM 90.7 and also on YouTube. Good morning, everybody, on YouTube. And let us introduce the stars of the show. We'll start with the birthday girl who celebrated yesterday, Terry Chamberlain. You seem to be in good spirits. Did you get over all the drinking you did?
Good. I only had one bottle of hard cider.
Hard cider?
Yeah, hard cider.
What's the difference between hard cider and soft?
And booze.
Well, the hard cider's booze.
Yeah. Okay. And the other is Tanner's Orchard.
You had a bottle
cider.
of it? A whole bottle? I mean, a fifth of...
No, it's like a beer bottle size.
Oh, I'm sitting here thinking a fifth of...
No, just a beer bottle size.
Well, that's Jack Daniels.
Wow.
I'm
I'm
And
impressed.
Kyle will appreciate, because Kyle's probably still sleeping, but it was the Cider Boys, and they're the group that came from Stevens Point. It's brewed in Stevens Point, which of course where I spent 8 years.
Okay.
And they came down for the
For your
Irish
birthday?
Fest. No, for the Irish Fest.
Oh, okay.
But I'm
Well,
recognizing that.
you know,
so
that would have been nice if
That
they
would have
come
been
down.
nice.
You know, we could have sold, I don't know, sponsorships to have them arrive. By the way, today, and Dr. Gene Sidler, and also good morning to you.
Good morning, everyone.
And
Good morning.
Dr. Terry Crowley
I
as well.
had a fifth of vodka yesterday.
I meant to send out a
No, I'm just
yeah.
kidding.
I meant to send out a memo. Today is Bradley University Day.
Oh, it is?
Oh, it is?
Well, I just
Well, you should
I
have told
put on
us.
the shirt.
Oh,
well, I
yes,
put on the
saw
shirt.
your Bradley
Yeah.
shirt, and I've got
You,
one
you
from
have
them.
one similar to that.
I have red, white, and black ones like that.
Yeah, well, you should have said
accumulated
something. We
over
could have
the
all
years.
worn...
Well, my printer broke down, and so I wasn't
okay,
able to send the memo out.
all right. Not,
You know, there was
not Captain Communicator here.
yeah. And I majored in communications
know.
too. Yeah, I need to take another course in it at any rate. Well, what'd you do on your birthday?
Not a whole lot. I had great plans,
Right, yeah.
but then friends called.
Yeah,
And
and
so-
They ruined your plans.
friends ruined it. Yeah, you know, I had a lot of things I was going to do, but damn it, some friends called, and they ruined everything for me.
I spent an hour and I have on the phone catching up with one friend
funny,
and
yeah.
half an hour with the other friend, and all of a sudden,
Yeah.
my day
All
was
of a
kinda
sudden,
done.
you didn't have time for yourself.
Well, it was just going to be carting more stuff over to the house, so it was a welcome break. I mean, it did break my heart too much. Yeah, let's catch
Yeah,
up.
good. You know, it's kind of like when you go visit people in the hospital. It actually is. This is not true. Wears out the patient, and that's why people, when they visit someone in the hospital, make the visit uplifting, cheerful, and brief. Is that true
Like
or not?
something a publicist might say at the hospital.
Well, yeah,
That's
called
what you
public
used to be,
relations,
Roger.
but publicist, anyway.
But it just depends, I suppose, on the patient, how sick they are and what they're in the
the
hospital for.
situation,
There's
right.
some people who welcome visitors and maybe can tolerate somebody visiting all day long. But yeah, for the most part, if you're in the hospital, you're probably not well and you would need the rest. And yeah, it's probably better to say hello and give your well wishes and get out of there.
I remember visiting a friend, and during the visit, I looked over at him, and he was going. So I thought, well, I think it's time to leave.
time to go.
And as I left, the nursing station was right outside of the room, and I stopped to say hi to the nurses. I heard the patient said, "Gee, I'm glad it did." And I didn't think he was ever going to leave. Well, I'm glad you had a happy birthday.
I thought
We
that's
have,
what they used to say when I would visit them as a doctor.
Yeah. I didn't think he was ever going to. No, usually they say, gee whiz, he would, and I heard this as a PR person, or publicist you call him, as, gee, he was only there for like 30 seconds and left, and probably charged me an
got
arm
billed
and a
for
leg.
$500.
Yeah, exactly right.
No, I usually spend a little more
No,
than
but
that.
I'm not being personal. I'm just saying, don't take it personal. But I heard that from patients. The doctor didn't stay there very
There were
long.
doctors who.
I would imagine you had a good.
fact,
you had a good bedside up at
Do
your
you remember
bedside.
Dr. Jack Domnitz? I'm sure.
I sure do. Yeah.
He
Wasn't he
worked
with the medical surgical
he
clinic?
was. He and actually Dr. Dunkelberger, who became a partner with our group.
Dunkelberger, by the way,
Started
was a
out
heck of
there.
a golf bowler.
Bowler, yes.
Outstanding.
There were quite a few very good doctors. Dr. Rutherford, the brother of the philanthropist Rutherford, was also a
Bill
doctor
or
there.
Bob? Oh, Bob Rutherford. He was our family doctor.
Bob, yeah, was at med
Yeah.
surg clinic for a long time. Anyway, Dr. Domnitz used to make rounds from the hall. Stick his head in the door. How you doing today? Okay.
Okay.
We'll get you out in a couple days.
Yeah.
And that was it.
That was it.
his rounds. Yeah.
You know, tell a story about Bob Rutherford. I've told the story before, but old people like to repeat stories. And I was back in the day when doctors made house calls. And I had some kind of an infection in the knee. My knee swelled up. And he came in and checked me out and everything. He said, okay, I think I might have been 10, 11, 12 years of age. And he said, roll over on your stomach. And I did. And I was in bed. And he pulled my pajama back and slapped the left buttock. And in the right buttock, he hit me with a shot of penicillin. And, of course, I was startled, but it was over so quick. I didn't have, well, he said, I'll check on you in 2 or 3 days. 3 days later, he came back. And I was still running a temperature, and he said, roll over on your stomach. Now, even though I'm a little kid, I know what's coming
got this
next.
figured out.
Yeah, and he slapped me in the right cheek and hit me with the needle, but I had tightened up.
You tensed up
And he
and
said, relax. I said, I can't. So it may work the first time, but Bob Rutherford was a neat guy, and he was a prolific smoker, yes. And I shouldn't tell the story, but
He would smoke in
he
the
can't-
office.
he was a patient at St. Francis. He had one lung. He was on oxygen. And the nurses came in to check on him or do what, and he wasn't there. He had taken his oxygen bottle, caught the elevator, went downstairs and outside and was smoking. He did disconnect the oxygen, I'm told, while he had a cigarette. Now that's an addiction.
That's an
I can
addiction.
tell you some stories, Roger, that are just as bad as that. Yeah, I was working in a VA hospital. You're dealing with a lot of crotchety old veterans, and yeah, they would figure a way to crank the window open and lean out that window and then smoke a cigarette and think they're fooling everybody.
Yeah.
You shut that window and get back in bed. No, they didn't fool anybody. You can still smell it.
You know, the number one cause of fires in hospitals, and I was there for 25 years, nationally, was smoking in bed. Well, they passed a law, no smoking at all. Nurses would tell me they would go in a room to check on a patient or a CNA, and they've got the sheet over their heads, and underneath they're smoking a cigarette. I mean, that's addiction.
It even extends to staff, unfortunately. We would, once in a while, I would drop in a bathroom, a hallway bathroom that's made for employees and doctors, whatever, and you'd smell smoke in there. So somebody, I don't know if it's a nurse, an orderly, or another doctor, but somebody's sneaking
Who was the doctor who smoked a pipe? My wife was a pediatric nurse and said a doc used to.
I can remember a couple of doctors.
And he said it smelled really good. You know, sometimes pipe tobacco can smell.
It would be really rancid.
Oh, I like
But-
the
but-
smell.
but-
My dad would have a smoke up pipe on a Sunday afternoon.
Oh, really?
I loved the smell of it, and between that and a cigar once in a while.
Would it have been a pediatrician or a general practice
a
doctor?
pediatrician, and
No,
he would come into the hospital with a pipe.
Yeah, that I'm not sure. I remember
Wow.
Dr. Bennett. You remember Dr. Gaylord Bennett was a
remember that.
neurologist with Dr. McLean.
Oh, vaguely.
Yeah, he smoked a pipe.
Yeah.
But
You remember when the hospitals passed the rule, no smoking
Well, yeah.
in the hospital or within so many yards of the hospital?
Yeah.
And where do they gather? From both St. Francis and Methodist.
Under the viaduct.
Under the I-74 overpass. You'd see them standing there smoking, and and every now and then a doctor would be doing surgery under the overpass while smoking.
Still a couple of kidneys laying under there. Got lost.
Well, now that we've denigrated the healthcare profession,
Oh, my.
let's see what we can do with officially with a newscast. And we start with the weather, brought to you by Bob Manning. Bob is Senior Vice President, Financial Advisor with Grandview Capital Group at Morgan Stanley in Peoria. For investment needs, Bob Manning is available. His phone number 309-671-4653. That's 671-4653. Morgan Stanley, Smith Barney LLC, member SIPC.
Sunny and very hot today, Roger. 92. That's going to put the heat index at 102. Clear skies tonight, low 77. That'll seem cold. Tomorrow, sunny and 93 with a little chance of rain. Sunday, partly sunny. Chance for showers. Not as hot, only 88. Not as hot, 88. Monday, high 87. Look for rain then, too. And we'll hear from our meteorologist, Kyle Varnold, this morning in his exclusive report at around 8 o'clock this morning, right
You
now.
got it.
You know, our crawl is telling us that it's on the screen here that it's 94% humidity. That's
Oh,
that's kind of high, isn't it?
Well,
That's
does that
wet.
fall under the definition of muggy?
I guess
Yeah.
it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's-
Very muggy.
yeah, that's gross.
And here we are. You've got on a sweater, and Dr. Sidler's going down to get muffins and earmuffs.
Yeah, I'm
and,
going to go get my jacket.
yeah, in that order.
Oh,
for
it's
that
nice
matter.
in here today.
Yeah,
It's nice.
usually now Elizabeth is gone.
You've
She
got long
went back to
sleeves on.
San Diego.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got on long
I do
sleeves
always
and
wear
long
long
underwear,
sleeves,
so
yeah.
it does
No, I
make
know,
a
I don't have
difference.
on
yeah.
any.
Oh, they're headed back.
Yeah, she left
out west?
yesterday afternoon, and she said, "Well, how's the air?" And I said, "Fine." Then we come in, and frost is on the windows. Except we don't have windows, so how did that happen at any rate? And
I tried to get a window.
I know you did. You were
install a
lobbying
window.
for it, yeah. And there are some offices, but
We could put one here, but it would just look out into another hallway.
and as it turns out, we could just
Outside.
open that door. But we have a unique studio in that how many rooms this size have two doors?
Not many.
Not too many. So we do have a second means of escape. If we
Yes,
have to.
exactly right.
Yeah.
If protesters block us getting in or out.
Or we start a fire with our cigarettes.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get into the news brought to you by, speaking of Kyle Varnold of Fortner Insurance. Kyle is an insurance professional, and he can check over your portfolio at no charge. For more information from Kyle Varnold, you can dial 682-0519, 682-0519. Let's get into the news, and Terry Lynn, what do you have?
Another shooting in Peoria yesterday afternoon around 4 p.m. in the area of Moss and Douglas. Officers found a man who took a bullet to the leg. He was rushed to a local hospital. No other details released by police, including the victim's condition.
Seems like a lot of leg wounds, doesn't it? Seems like.
Well, at least they're not killing.
Oh yeah, they're getting smarter. They're aiming
Yeah,
lower. They're
yeah.
not, they're not
Yeah, well, how
shooting to
come they're
kill.
shot
but
in the leg? That's
because
Well, then they can't run.
they can't. Yeah, exactly.
oh. So they're a good shot then. They're
I
purposely.
think it's probably just poor aim.
Well, I think, some of these kids are so young, they've had no training. And, you touch, and you know more about it because you're a gunsmith.
No, we're not. That's
I'm talking
instructive.
about Terry.
Oh.
You touch that trigger and it has a hair trigger.
Well, yeah. Not many guns do.
Really?
No.
No, it usually is quite a bit. You have to squeeze it.
Yeah, some of them are pretty. In fact, it was at New York. Yeah, they have a New York trigger that the New York Police Department. It's like a 12-pound trigger. It's a very, very heavy trigger, and it's by law in New York or ordinance.
Well, they don't want you to, by the time you pull the trigger after fighting it, the bank robber is already in the car counting money.
It's hard to. Anyway,
Well, I'm not sure any of us know much about guns. You probably do, but
I shot competition for a long time.
you did.
I did.
Really? And who were you competing with? Bank robbers?
The target.
Oh, okay.
It never shot back. It was easy.
Closest I got to it, well, I had a 22 as a young kid, but was M1 in the military, and we used to get up at 3:30 in the morning to go to the rifle range. I said, I'll never get up this early, and here I am,
Here you are.
getting up at 4:30.
Yeah, but
I
you're not shooting
must be nuts.
M1 Garand, is that what they were? That's what they were
What
shooting
was that?
at? An M1 Garand, I think.
We just called it M1.
M1. Well, let's call it M1.
And by the way, in the military, sir, you never call a weapon a gun.
Oh no.
One is for shooting and one is for fun.
Right. We don't want to go there. Right
No,
now.
I know, and that's why I want to remind you, don't use the word gun. Use the rifle.
I won't.
All right. Now the news.
Another person seeking to sell an electronic item, apparently advertised on social media, became a victim of an armed robbery. That's number 2 here in the last couple of months. While waiting for the alleged buyer in the 2400 block of West Proctor, he was approached by 2 persons, one who had a gun and robbed of his possession. He was holding on to a gun.
You know, when are people going to learn, if you got something to sell, go to McDonald's parking lot?
You know, the police department will let you come down to their lobby
Yeah.
and do that.
Well, the reason they don't do that is the people doing the selling stole whatever it is they're selling.
There might be a chance of that. We're not accusing this
Well,
guy,
thanks
but I
for
think
coming in and returning. Well, I was planning on selling this TV set.
The Peoria County Sheriff's Department report the arrest of 26-year-old Donald Shaw of Galva on a variety of charges. Shaw attempted to elude sheriff's deputies on his motorcycle at Harmon Highway and Airport Road. He was captured when his bike ran out of gas.
From Galva, that's a kind of a long ways, isn't it?
That's why I ran out of gas.
I was gonna say,
Can you imagine?
plan better.
And he was, I think they had video of it on one of the TV stations. He was trying to get away from police pushing his bike. I mean, you talk about dumb.
give up the bike, pal.
Yeah.
Congratulations to the Peoria Fire Department. The department has received an accreditation status from the Commission on Fire Accreditation International. The designation comes after 2 years of review and evaluation. That accreditation is similar to the evaluation process of hospitals by the Joint Commission of Accreditation of Healthcare Organizations. Wow.
And usually the survey, and you probably know a little bit about that, Dr. Sidler, when the Joint Commission, but a 2-year review and evaluation, it's over in days when they have it at the hospital, but this went on for 2 years. So that's a heck of a study.
Well, if they find deficiencies, they usually give you a certain amount of time to correct them. And
Maybe while they're there.
well, or sometimes they'll return then in 3 months or whatever
Return to
for a review again. And if you still haven't corrected them, they'll give you another 3 months or 6 months, or they'll sanction you. Yeah, so it can drag out a while, but ideally you want to get it over with quickly.
Yeah, well, congratulations again to Sean Solberger and all our men and women in the fire department.
Democrat judges are still waging judicial war against the Trump administration. The latest attack comes from Florida federal judge Kathleen Williams and Obama appointee who halted construction at Alligator Alcatraz, the federal detention immigration center. Judge Williams did say ongoing processing of illegals could continue. The Democrat judge agreed with a left-wing environmental group called Friends of the Everglades, who claimed the facility was built without environmental reviews. Additional construction is halted for 14 days.
Meanwhile, the Trump administration has filed a petition to the Supreme Court seeking to pause a lower court's restrictions on how ICE authorities can conduct operations in Southern California. The judge said immigration officials cannot use language spoken, location, or job as reasons to ask a person about their immigration status.
What's left? Anyway, some of those Texas Democrats are still in Illinois, and Texas is still unable to hold a quorum to conduct business in the State House. The business not only includes approval to redistrict areas of Texas, which would give Republicans another 5 congressional seats. The business also includes approval of financial aid to people seeking to rebuild their homes and lives following those devastating floods.
There's an interesting medical news story about eating eggs. Australian researchers conducted a study and found that eating 2 eggs a day as part of a low saturated fat diet reduced LDL cholesterol more than an egg-free diet. Researcher John Buckley of the University of South Australia said it's not foods that are high in cholesterol that increase blood levels of bad cholesterol, but it's the saturated fats in the foods we consume. Eggs are high in cholesterol but low in saturated fat, he said. Only 61 people participated in the study, and how many chickens we don't know.
Yeah. Which came first, by the way, the chicken or the egg?
I don't know.
What do you think about this poorly participated study?
Well, anybody that reads social media type reports, you see these reports frequently. We do know that the yolk of an egg is very rich in cholesterol and can be the highest source of cholesterol in your diet if you are a regular egg eater. And we do know that cholesterol plays a significant part in the formation of plaque. That's the artery blockages that can develop and lead to heart attacks, the number one cause of death in the U.S., and has been for many decades. So the logical connection is that, yeah, maybe we should reduce egg consumption, but it turns out that in clinical studies, there are studies that show that eating more eggs does not necessarily connect with a higher risk of heart disease. The body can process that. So maybe it's a combination of genetic factors, cholesterol intake. There certainly is a factor that is involved with how much you take in, but there are probably other factors as well. And so it's just a harder thing than just saying simply eat them or don't eat them or limit them.
Does it make a difference how you prepare them?
Whether scrambled or over easy.
Or poached,
or hard-boiled egg.
Yeah.
A fried egg is going to add probably more oil
'cause you're
or
frying, yeah.
fat to the meal, but mostly not. I think either way you're going to get about the same content. If you take the yolk away, you can reduce the cholesterol significantly because it's almost entirely in the yolk of the egg. But it's a good source of protein, and so I don't think anybody is recommending that you avoid eggs. But
I've got another question. If the end of a funny story is a joke, what's the white of an egg called?
I don't know, Terry. What is it?
It's the white. Most people say yolk, but it's the white.
I call it the albumin.
Oh, you would. You're a doctor.
Have you ever eaten in a restaurant yolk-free eggs?
No, of course, they sell them.
Yeah,
they sell them.
they're right.
Egg beaters. They actually
Those aren't bad.
They're not bad, but they're just the whites of the egg. They add a little color.
A little color to make you
them
think that you're
look
eating,
like scrambled eggs. But they don't contain any.
Do you think that fools the liver or the gallbladder?
Well, it probably does give you fewer calories from cholesterol, I guess. I don't know.
Well, this heartwarming newscast is come to an end.
No, it isn't. We got one
No,
more.
we got one more little tidbit.
Well, you're supposed to raise your hand.
Well, it's her turn.
Okay, you're on.
Peoria City Councilman Andre Allen will be our guest at 7:30 this morning. Stay tuned as we talk city business.
He's bringing eggs, I think.
Yeah.
As always, you're welcome to call on our studio line at 309-966-4044.
Or they can chat in our chat room if you're on YouTube, for that matter. Now let's turn to our friends at WCBU and see what they have to report.
From the WCBU Newsroom, I'm Ben Howell. The Distillery Labs Innovation Hub in downtown Peoria is entering its second year looking to build on momentum. Executive Director Doug Cruitt says they've cast a wide net in trying to help people get their businesses off the ground.
We've really connected in a meaningful way with more than 250 startup founders. Within 12 months, a small handful of those combined to raise over $1.5 million to take their vision, their dream to the next level.
Cruitt says the health tech and ag tech sectors have proven to be strengths so far. He says a boot camp planned for this fall will explore specific pathways for getting health tech entrepreneurs to develop scalable business models. Governor J.B. Pritzker says if Texas and other Republican majority states do redraw new congressional districts outside of the usual schedule after census periods, Illinois and blue states might follow the political escalation.
None of us want to do it. None of us want to go through a redistricting process. But if we're forced to, it's something that we'll consider doing.
In an NPR interview, Pritzker also said Republican map makers are trying to disenfranchise black and brown voters. Texas Democratic state lawmakers have fled to Illinois to prevent a quorum that would let the GOP redistrict. A 48-year-old Pekin woman has been sentenced to 16 years in prison after pleading guilty to solicitation of murder. Allison Salinas was accused of asking a former out-of-state boyfriend for help in hiring someone to kill her husband, Patrick Salinas. Tazewell County Court documents show Salinas entered her guilty plea before Judge Chris Doskotch last week. She admitted discussing the murder plot in multiple phone, text, and social media conversations dating back to late 2023. No attempt on Patrick Salinas' life was ever made. And shoppers in Morton will continue paying a 1% grocery sales tax on January 1st when the state's tax expires. The village board this week approved establishing its own grocery tax to replace lost revenue from the state tax. Village attorney Patrick McGrath says the move does not mean shoppers will face a tax increase next year. Instead, the same tax is just being collected differently. Trustee Steve Leach cast the sole vote against the tax. I'm Ben Howell.
There you have all the news that is news more often right here. Mornings on WAZU FM 90.7. How about sports? Dr. Gene Sidler with the latest. Good morning, Gina.
Well, good morning, Roger, and everybody listening. Baseball
and
watching now, yes. And we have all of our information up on the wall there. You might have to go full screen to read it, but I can read that. It's very legible. And we have our phone number up there if you feel like calling and talking to us, or just ignore us.
Yes, which we're used to.
Yes. Anyway, the Cubs were off yesterday. They remain 4 games behind the Milwaukee Brewers. Got a little work to do. There's 48 games left in the regular season for the Cubs, but they are holding on to the top wild card spot as of now, and so still prospects look good for the playoffs, but they should get going and start playing a little bit better. They will play the Cardinals in St. Louis tonight, and the Cardinals also were off yesterday, and they are at home to host the Cubs. The White Sox lost to the Seattle Mariners yesterday afternoon, 3-2 in 11 innings. Disappointing loss for the White Sox. Had plenty of chances there and blew it. They lost all 3 games out there in Seattle, but they head home now and will play the Cleveland Guardians up in Chicago tonight. Peoria Chiefs lost to the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers 9-0 last night. They will continue that series through Sunday at home against the Timber Rattlers. And there were 3 NFL preseason games last night. The Baltimore Ravens beat the Indianapolis Colts 24-16. Colts starting quarterback left the game after only a couple of series of plays with an injury to his finger on his passing hand. So again, it points out the concern that coaches have about key players getting injured. This is their starting quarterback, Anthony Richardson. So hopefully he recovers enough to be ready to play the regular season. The second game, the Philadelphia Eagles beat the Cincinnati Bengals 34-27. Bengals first string, including quarterback Joe Burrow, looked pretty good, scoring touchdowns on their first 2 drives, but then they were taken out of the game and the reserves went in, and the Eagles took over from there and won the game 34-27. And in the late game last night, the Las Vegas Raiders at the Seattle Seahawks, game tied 23-23. Nothing like a preseason tie to be exciting for that game to end.
Well, everybody went home happy, or everybody went home sad.
Well, either way. There's 3 more games tonight, 8 games tomorrow, and 2 games Sunday. And one of the Sunday games is the Chicago Bears playing their first preseason game, a 12 noon game up at Soldier Field against the Miami Dolphins. Bears are 3-point favorites if you like to bet on preseason games when you don't even know who's playing, which players. If you bid, and that's then my next point is head coach Ben Johnson again reiterated yesterday that a decision whether any of his starters will play is to be determined, meaning that he isn't ready to say.
He doesn't have any idea.
He doesn't want to say. And one other good news note here, sports. A team from Clarendon Hills, Illinois. That's not too far from where I grew up, south suburbs of Chicago. Will represent the Great Lakes region in the Little League World Series in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, starting next week.
Are you watching any of those Little League games?
I just have watched highlights of some of the games.
Just the highlights? I've been watching some of the games.
Yeah, they're being carried by ESPN. And it's interesting. Some of these kids are pretty good ball players. The Great Lakes region is Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, and Ohio. And this is the second year in a row that a team from Illinois has won the Great Lakes region and represented that region. So good luck to Clarendon Hills. Last year it was a team from Hinsdale that advanced to the Little League World Series. But they got eliminated, I think, fairly quickly. Let's hope the Clarendon Hills Little League boys can
do a little bit.
Stay around a little bit
Remember
longer.
the year they won it illegally? And
Well, that was a Chicago
big-
team.
Yeah,
yes,
that's
and,
exactly right. It was a
they
big
were found-
controversy.
Well, they cheated?
They
Well,
were cheating.
There
Yes.
are age limits on how old the kids can be,
Yeah.
and there's area limits that each of these teams have to draw only from their area. Well, this team from Chicago not only had kids, I believe, who were slightly
Well, there was
too
one
old,
kid who was 32, and he was from Frankfurt,
but they
Germany.
also took kids from areas that weren't in their little league.
And the manager
area,
was
so.
10.
Well, could you imagine Chicago was cheating at something?
And hard to believe.
Had to be a Democrat. No, I know, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
don't go there.
No, I don't
That
know.
is all the
Yeah,
sports.
thank
All
goodness.
right.
Hey, Virginia's here. Good morning, Virginia. Good to
Oh,
see you.
Virginia.
Thanks.
this
Good morning.
Hey, are you actually working at St. Francis?
I do.
Oh, okay.
I work for OSF, yes.
Yeah.
I'm
you-
at Glen Park.
At Glen Park, that's off of Glen.
It
then.
is.
Yeah, that's why they have. Hey,
Smart.
I'll tell you
Wow,
what.
that didn't
you know
take
what?
much, did it, Rod?
Came up with that name.
Hey, my mother didn't raise any idiots. At least the last thing I checked. Yeah. How long you been working there?
A month.
Now, but you still are the number one representative for Tupperware, are you not?
That's what they say, yeah. Not number one, but yeah, I'm there.
Yeah. How long have you been selling
Tupperware?
Tupperware
Oh, man.
products? They never wear
bad.
out, do they?
Well, sometimes you just need new stuff.
Well, you know what? Yeah. Well, spoken like a
What's
Yeah.
the newest,
spoken like a
thing
true.
that you do now? What's the newest?
Not really newest, but a lot of people like these hamburger presses. It comes with you press the hamburger and you can freeze it in these containers.
Okay.
And that's the big thing right now.
Oh, really?
But yeah.
And
or
then-
salt and
or-
pepper shakers. People love our salt and pepper
The
shakers.
vintage ones are coming back, aren't they?
pepper
I
shakers.
saw
I
them.
just ordered them yesterday. Yes.
Yeah.
But you
the
also
medium
can
one.
buy hamburgers already pressed.
You can, but why would you do that when you want to do it yourself? Because you want to add onions and seasonings to it.
Well, you don't have to get huffy. I'm just had a little question about it. It bit my head off.
And I'll be in Brimfield Saturday selling
Yeah.
my Tupperware.
You will.
I will.
Where
Now,
exactly?
from what to what?
Well, they don't tell us exactly where we'll be, but it's over
I don't think it's-
Settlers Day or
just on a
something.
street corner?
Yeah, I do that a lot.
I don't. Yeah. Well, no. Wait a minute. It's Tupperware, right?
For the turn.
I know, right? This is a family show.
Tupperware, right?
Hey, you know what? I tell you what. Why you get new Tupperware is because I found that the lids, after a certain period of time, don't fit.
Run them under warm water for about
2 days.
2 minutes.
They don't burp
Yeah.
as much.
Well, you run them
Is
under
that how
warm
you
water.
do it?
Yeah,
You
run them
gotta-
under
you
water,
gotta burp
warm
it.
water for 2
Well, that
minutes.
sure beat. I used a hammer. And
That's why yours doesn't
that's
fit
why
anymore.
I had to get new Tupperware. It didn't work so well for that matter. Tupperware is been around for how many years now?
Oh, many, many, many years. I don't remember how many now. It's been too long. I've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah, you have been. And you're good friends of, you do a lot of things over at Northwoods Mall. You
I
got
do.
any
Got
events
3 shows
coming up?
coming up. 3
Three
shows.
shows, what? Thanksgiving, Halloween, and Christmas?
No, flea market on September 20th. We're going to try that. That's our first one. Then the Boy Scouts, a Boy Scout troop is doing a craft show on November 15th. And then my show is...
They're selling Tupperware?
No, they're going to have different
Crafts.
vendors there
Okay. all
to
right.
support the Boy Scouts, the
Oh.
Boy Scout troop. And then my show is in December. December 13th.
Where did the, maybe Dr. Sidler can find out on his search, where did the term flea market come from? I mean,
I have no idea.
would that be something, why do they call it a flea? First
It
of all,
was,
fleas are
I
not.
do know.
You do know?
Yep, it was, it actually
Oh,
started.
get ready for this.
Oh,
Yeah.
come on.
Oh my gosh.
Go ahead.
It was originally a dog show.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
No.
Okay, I'm not going there.
Okay.
I was told that.
Here is, according to AI, artificial intelligence says flea market originates from the French phrase marché aux pousses, which means flea market, market of the fleas. And it is thought to have originated from an outdoor market in Paris where old furniture, old clothing, and other goods
And
were
dogs.
sold which were infested with fleas.
See, I was getting to that.
Oh,
I just didn't remember.
Well,
the
you want to
pronunciation.
amplify it? We give you an opportunity.
I just didn't
Yeah.
remember the pronunciation of the French word, but I was going there, but You guys interrupted me.
Well, you started with dogs. I didn't
Started
think
with-
it
Well, it
goes where I was going.
furniture and dogs. It was just old stuff where fleas hang out.
Also, I've looked up and found that Tupperware was founded by Earl Tupper
Right.
Yeah.
in 1946, although he sort of invented his Tupperware a few years earlier, 1942. Came up with the idea for
Yep,
the
Earl Tupper.
Tupperware.
You can put Tupperware products in a microwave, can you?
Some,
not?
yeah, you can. It says it tells you on the bottom if you can or not. Yeah.
And you can freeze it. In fact, here's
If you-
another known fact
If you
that,
can read, you can
that
see
you-
on the bottom that.
What?
that you probably don't know, but Mr. Tupper was buried in a Tupper. It was a large.
Did they
Tupperware
burp it
contain-
before he
they
went?
burped it.
And
You can't keep the air in it. You got to get the air out of it.
and they had to cook the top in the microwave
Oh,
for
my
2
goodness.
minutes. No, hot water, you said, right? Yeah.
To make sure the lid stays on.
Yeah. So he was French. He was a Frenchman.
That was the fleas. That was before that.
Mr. Tupper was from Massachusetts.
Oh God, this gets confusing.
Okay. And you wonder why people turn us off every morning.
It gets a little out of hand.
Well, let's do something legitimate, like bring you up to date with the news stories we are reporting. And we start with headlines brought to you by Spoon River Home Health. They've been around since 1993, locally owned and operated. Spoon River Home Health, available to help you and your loved ones 24/7. You can reach them at 309-245-0723. Here's Sari.
We had another shooting in Peoria yesterday afternoon around 4 p.m., this time in the area of Moss and Douglas. Officers found a man who took a bullet to the leg. He was rushed to a local hospital. No other details released by police, including the victim's condition. Hate to report that another gullible person seeking to sell an electronic item that he apparently advertised on social media became a victim of an armed robbery. While waiting for the alleged buyer in the 2400 block of West Proctor, he was approached by two persons, one who had a gun, and robbed of his possession. The Peoria County Sheriff's Department reports the arrest of 26-year-old Donald Shaw of Galva on a variety of charges. Shaw attempted to elude sheriff's deputies on his motorcycle at Harmon Highway and Airport Road. He was captured when his bike ran out of gas. Now that's pretty rare, isn't it? Wow. I think there's a gas station. At least there used to be a gas station
Right
there along
there.
Harmon Highway.
Should have stopped for gas.
You would have thought. Congratulations to the Peoria Fire Department. The department has received accreditation status from the Commission on Fire Accreditation International. The designation comes after 2 years of review and evaluation. That accreditation is similar to the evaluation process of hospitals by the Joint Commission on Accreditation of Healthcare Organizations. Democrat judges are still waging judicial war against the Trump administration. The latest attack comes from Florida federal judge Kathleen Williams, an Obama appointee who halted construction at Alligator Alcatraz, the federal detention immigration center. Judge Williams did say ongoing processing of illegals could continue. The Democrat judge agreed with a left-wing environmental group called Friends of the Everglades, who claimed the facility was built without environmental reviews. Additional construction is halted for 14 days. Meanwhile, the Trump administration has filed a petition with the Supreme Court seeking to pause a lower court's restrictions on how ICE authorities can conduct operations in Southern California. The judge said immigration officers cannot use language spoken, location, or job as reasons to ask a person about their immigration status. Some of those Texas Democrats are still in Illinois, and Texas is still unable to hold a quorum to conduct business in the State House. The business not only includes approval to redistrict areas of Texas, which would give Republicans another 5 congressional seats, but also includes approval of financial aid to people seeking to rebuild their homes and lives following those devastating floods. Now here's a story about eggs, and it's no yolk. I just read it, people.
Oh, no.
Who wrote that?
Yeah, I had no idea. Some idiot.
Australian researchers conducted a study and found that eating 2 eggs a day as part of a low saturated fat diet reduced LDL cholesterol more than an egg-free diet. Researcher John Buckley of the University of South Australia said, quote, "It is not foods that are high in cholesterol that increase blood levels of bad cholesterol, but it's the saturated fats in the foods we consume. Eggs are high in cholesterol but low in saturated fat," he said.
You know, that story has the word fat in it too much.
It
You
has
wanna take
cholesterol in
it
it too much,
Yes,
too.
well,
It's a give and take situation.
yes, it is.
I feel like my cholesterol went up just listening.
Only 61 people participated in the study,
Oh,
so
boo,
take it,
yeah,
you know.
I don't know if that's very valid. What do you consider a valid ceremony or study, if you want to call it that?
I would say at least 100, wouldn't you, Doc?
At least,
At
and maybe
least.
even much more. There are formulas you can use to determine the degree of statistical significance of any study, and you almost have to hire a statistician in order to do those kinds of analyses. But yes, you need hundreds of people involved in a study, plus a control group of approximately the same number of people, with all the other characteristics being equal between the two groups, other than what you're studying. Yeah.
And who the study
And I
comes from.
understand the study was conducted at that egg place in East Peoria. You know, what
Well,
that
it was,
happened.
at an
Yeah,
egg farm.
what's the name of the?
Excellent.
Excellent.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
is this
there's
still
one out-
open?
We have the
Yeah.
new one, the Egg Republic.
And Egg
Oh,
Republic
Egg
is
Republic's
out.
incredible.
Is out
It is
by
very good.
That's a very good
out
place.
by Grand Prairie.
It's what used to be TGI Fridays.
Well, it's been a
But one-
few different
oh, but a
restaurants.
few- But
yeah.
when it was built, it was TGI
Yeah.
Fridays.
And then it was a seafood
Oh,
place.
the seafood
it's been
place
a lot
has
of
been
And
a lot
there's a
of
new one
things.
over at Westlake. Eggs Are Us.
No, no,
It's
no,
opening
no,
this
that's not
weekend.
true. No.
Now, don't start rumors.
Okay, are you done?
No, I have one more piece of news.
Well, again, getting huffy.
I know.
I know it was your birthday
Yeah,
yesterday.
Birthday.
I
But
can
it's a
celebrate.
one-day-
It's still my
yeah.
special
You're a
day.
year
yes.
older.
It's your
Okay.
birthday for the whole
Goodness.
month. Didn't you know that?
No.
Yeah.
At least a week.
You
but
go get all these special freebies at different places the whole month.
That's true.
What are the names of the places?
Yeah, what are the freebies?
Oh, see,
Dunkin' Donuts does it.
Who-
There's a bunch of-
Dunkin' Donuts?
Starbucks.
Paneras.
Yeah.
What do they do?
Give you free stuff. You register when your birthday is. You go that whole month, you get free stuff.
I get dessert.
Really?
Well, actually, I got my
You
dessert
got
yesterday
dessert where?
at Olive Garden. As long as I bought an entree, then I got a free birthday dessert.
Really?
Wow.
All right.
And what did you have?
Tiramisu.
Of course.
I
Do they
thought
check
you-
an ID? Could you go in and register like every other day as your birthday?
No.
Oh,
No,
and then they check
I
an
know.
ID?
No, I
don't
talked to a manager, and he said you've tried that on them about 4
Well,
times.
And different names. How
Yeah,
many different
yeah.
names have you used?
Yeah, howdy doody started out as howdy doody.
Yeah.
All right, my last bit of news before
Yes.
yes. Peoria City Councilman Andre Allen will be our guest
Oh.
at 7:30 this morning.
Well,
Stay
he might have
tuned.
canceled.
Well, yeah, he may watch this and say, I don't want to be there. Stay tuned as we talk city business. As always, you're welcome to call on our studio line, which is 309-966-4044. Now I'm done.
All right, now the weather, sponsored by your hometown community banks division of Morton Community Bank. Look for the clock tower, and you'll know they have time for you. Member FDIC.
Sunny and very hot today, high 92. That heat meter is going to be about 102. Clear skies, low tonight 77. Tomorrow sunny and a little bit of rain. Sunday partly sunny, chance for showers. So we got some rain back in the forecast. We'll hear all about some forecast stuff from Kyle Arnold coming up pretty soon. 72 right now, 94% humidity, a little muggy out there.
And that's the weather. I know you're close to the manager for Northwoods, and did that furniture store, is it totally closed now? Yeah, I didn't see that. They had it, you know, they were...
That was company-wide.
That was company-wide, yeah, they had on a hard time. Do you remember years ago, that Illinois Furniture had a going out of business sale
Yes,
that
40
lasted
years.
2 years.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
And finally, the state's attorney said, "You can't be advertising going out of business."
Wasn't it Illinois
for
Furniture?
two-
Yeah.
There's always,
Illinois Furniture, yeah.
Yep.
Oh
Yep.
gosh, I got a couch
Who
down
was
there.
that?
and,
Lowenstein? Who was that?
I'll tell you who, because Ulovich.
Yeah.
And
That's right.
Ruth Ulovich
That's right.
was one of the owners, and she wound up as a volunteer at Methodist during the time. In addition to being PR and marketing, I was in charge of the volunteers. She was a super lady.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
personality, good bedside manner, you might say. And she was a delight to be around, and she loved what she was doing. And a little reminder, if you're retired and now you're bored and you want to add some zip to your life and cheerfulness, volunteer at your local hospital.
Yeah.
They're always looking for volunteers.
Eddie LaHood owns that building now.
What's in it besides
He
empty?
buys restaurant equipment, mainly restaurant equipment stuff.
You know, you have a knowledge
that's
of
Ray's brother.
businesses all over the city.
I did a lot of work with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right. All right, are you ready for the question of the day on this day in history? And you're welcome to join in the
Answer.
answer, yes. On this day in 1945, something politically, and it really wasn't political. I'm trying to describe or come up with a word that would kind of narrow the search down a little bit. But first of all, let's start with who was president then.
I believe Roosevelt was still president.
Incorrect.
45?
It was Truman then.
Then it was Truman then. Exactly right. So I'll help you out. He did something, and what was it?
Oh, he started that program, didn't he? That Plant That Tree program? No, that was Roosevelt.
That was
this was
Johnson,
still
I
just
think,
a month or two, a couple of months after the end of the war. So does it have to do with World War II in any way?
Well, in a way, but yeah, in a way, I guess we could stretch it a
Was
little
it
bit.
a rebuilding type of initiative
It was
that?
a veteran thing then, wasn't it?
History wasn't my thing in school, so I'm out.
No. Well, I am too. That's why I asked the question. It had to do with what was important that all the countries in the world needed to do.
Oh, housing. Did it have to do with housing?
No.
Rebuild?
Well, in a way, yes, but don't go down that road.
Did it have to do with financial
No.
things?
I was thinking the Lend-Lease
In,
thing. but that wasn't-
indirectly, yes, but that's not really.
So it wasn't
where
like a
we're-
monetary conference
something
No.
of some
jobs.
kind?
Now, you're getting close. You just used a word that might be
Or was
important.
it an international conference of
It
some
was,
kind?
yes. But the word conference is a little bit of a stretch, but I'll take that
Is
as
that-
a
didn't have
possible
anything to do with
clue.
NATO?
The start of the United Nations.
That is exactly right.
Oh.
Wow. Yay.
Harry Truman signed the UN Charter, and the U.S. Senate ratified it July 28th, making the United States the first nation to complete the ratification process and join a new international organization. The signing was accomplished with little pomp. What
And
was
circumstance.
Because why was pomp little?
It was
And ceremony. Anyway,
Short
then
of circumstance.
and, you know, they always say little pomp. Usually it's pomp and who's his partner.
circumstance.
Yes.
The taller one.
Nonetheless, the event was marked by hope and optimism. Thank you.
and optimism.
Having gone through 2 world wars in 3 decades, most Americans and people around the world were hopeful that the new international organization would serve as a forum for settling international disagreements and a means for maintaining global peace. As we know it, today it isn't worth a damn. The UN...
Tell us how you really feel, Roger.
Well, you know, it is. Here we have a big war. 2 wars going on. What's the UN doing? They're sitting there having caviar for lunch in New York City at our expense. We pay the vast
And
amount of
isn't
money.
Iran like the chairman of the some peace committee or something?
Yeah, he's in charge of bomb shelters.
Yeah.
Or used to be, he got fired. The UN officially came into existence on October 24th after a majority of how many original member countries had ratified the charter? Double digit.
12.
40.
You're higher.
50.
What was?
50.
Nice going. Close, but no cigar. But we give it to you because you're off by one.
1.
51 is the answer. See, she sat over there and said, I don't know anything. And then
That
she
wasn't my favorite,
And then
I'll
you
put
get
it
an
that
A.
way.
All right.
All right.
I'm not going to give you tomorrow's. I have no idea how to pronounce the words. And it
What are
goes
they?
back to the year 378
What-
when I was
oh.
born.
Well, what kind of words are they? What language is it?
Visigoths
Visigoth, yes.
and
God knows.
Adrianople.
Show it to God.
Adrianople.
Adrianople.
Yeah. Anyway, the Visigoths routed the Romans in the year 378, and it was all over illegal immigrants coming into
No.
No,
the United
no,
States.
that's not
They
true.
just they wanted what the Romans had.
Okay,
wanted it
August 10th, children, August 10th, 1793. Something very important opened
The White House.
somewhere in
Oh.
the world.
Oh, it's somewhere in the world.
Incorrect.
The Leaning Tower of Pisa.
Well, I'll give you this
That goes back a
much
ways further.
credit, and that answer brought to you by Avantes. At any rate,
Yes, Paris?
it was
Or Italy?
in Europe.
In Europe?
Was it in London?
Incorrect.
Okay.
1793.
Somebody in the room already got the right location, but he was
Where's
too
the
dumb to
Leaning Tower-
realize.
Where's the
he
Leaning
was-
Tower of Pisa?
he
Where
was-
is that?
It's in Pisa,
Well,
Italy. It's in
So
the
it's in
city of
Italy.
Pisa.
So we're in Italy.
No.
I wish I was
That
in
wasn't. You gave the answer, but
gave the
again,
answer?
you did not the answer to the question, but the city. But see, he doesn't even remember what he said.
I don't remember either.
I don't.
Rome?
Can we run the tape back? Can I?
Rewind.
They don't have tape anymore.
All right, video.
What city?
Is it a building of
Vatican?
some kind?
Well, let's start with the city. That will help.
Vatican. Is that a
Pardon?
city? Vatican? Is that a city?
The
Well,
Vatican,
Vatican
no.
City.
Paris?
Yes, they do.
No. What was that?
Paris.
Paris is correct.
Paris.
The
When did you
Louvre?
mention Paris?
I don't know.
What'd you say?
The Louvre?
The Louvre opened. Exactly right.
Oh.
The Louvre
Terry gets
Museum
it,
opened
yay.
August
It was
10th,
joint.
17. After more than 2 centuries. What did it used to be? The building.
A warehouse?
It's a big U-shaped building.
Well, that's wonderful.
Used to be a government building of some kind.
Well, you're close to it. I mean, but I need 2 words.
A court.
House.
That's 1 word. You need 2 words.
I
House.
guess it's not a castle.
Courthouse.
No, that's 1 word.
A residential court.
Hyphen it.
Incorrect.
No?
Debtor's prison.
What do you call? Good guess. What do you call the people who are like in high places?
Aristocrat?
Well, you're close. In England, what do they call?
Royalty?
Yeah, okay, you have part
A
of the
royal
word.
court.
Royal what?
Royal
What kind of structure?
Court house.
I know you're on.
A royal residence?
You're close.
Royal
we
Peoria.
we had a theater in Peoria that was demolished.
Royal Palace.
Exactly right.
Oh.
The
Great
French
job.
revolutionary government opened the Louvre as a public museum in Paris. Today, the Louvre's
Yeah.
collection is one of the richest in the world, with artwork and artifacts representative of 11,000 years of human civilization and culture. Construction began in 1546 on the site of a 12th century fortress built by King who?
Richard.
Arthur.
Louis.
Louis the 10th.
The name is similar to a cigarette company many years ago went out of business.
King Chester.
I remember who was the guy that used to yell?
Call for Philip Morris.
You got it. Now, what is the word?
King Philip.
King Philip the what?
Fifth.
No,
Second.
he took the fifth before the Republican
drank the
committee in Washington.
He drank
The
the
third.
No.
The first.
Oh, you guys are somewhere.
Second.
And yes. Very good.
Couldn't take much.
And now you know the rest of the
Now,
story.
arguably,
Was that fun?
What was the
It was a
question?
blast.
I mean, what was the answer? King Philip, the what?
The fortress was built by King Philip II.
The second, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, arguably, what is the most famous
Mona Lisa.
thing that's in the Louvre?
Yeah.
Well, this has been fun,
There's-
guys, but I
there's
gotta
a-
go to work.
Yeah, there's incredible.
Oh, there's other things.
Yeah.
Well, there's lots of other really
The
cool
Birth
stuff.
of Venus by Botticelli, where
Yeah.
she's coming
My-
out of the ocean, and
My favorite, the thing that I got excited about was the Venus de Milo statue. I sat and stood and
But the one
looked
without
at
the
that.
arms?
the one without the
Yeah,
arms.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
But I wasn't looking at that.
Yeah, because, well, yeah, he's naked, isn't he?
Yeah, well, it was partially.
Well, yeah.
Have a
if
good
you-
day, guys.
Well,
can
thank
say
you.
the statue is
Thanks,
there.
Virginia, for coming in.
Hi, Virginia.
Any rate, the Venus
David's the
de
naked
Milo.
one.
Yeah, he's not there though. He's in Florence at
Oh,
a museum.
He's with Florence?
at the Uzi Museum in
Are you
Florence.
talking about Venus de Milo?
We're talking about naked statues.
Venus de
Venus de
Milo,
Milo.
beautiful statue. There's so much to see. And once when I saw the Mona Lisa, I thought, is this what it's all excited
Oh,
about?
no, isn't
I
it?
think
It's only
it's
like-
not a very big,
small,
yeah.
And isn't it like
And yet, you know, you look at it and say, well, this is historic. You're looking at one of the all-time great masterpieces.
And now it's got a barricade now that people can climb over it, and they have tried that, you know, with the
Yeah, they wanted to destroy it.
stop oil
Yeah.
people. But there's a barricade, so you can't actually even get too close to it anymore, and it's covered in a box-like plastic.
But the
yeah.
eyes follow you, don't they? When you come?
I didn't notice that, but
Some people say that,
I think
right?
that's a restaurant that has one of them.
I think we have the artist who painted the Venus de Milo.
Oh.
Or no, the Mona Lisa. Good
Leonardo.
morning.
Hello, Leonardo.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes. What's on your mind?
Well, I just have to kind of hearing the story about the Venus de Milo. I heard this story about how special that was, and so I'm thinking, I know, here's this statue, a giant concrete statue of Venus, and I'm like, I'm going to surprise Roger with it, and so I got it, and showed it to him, and he was like, well, what am I supposed to do with that? So as a result, I have one in my yard. Just thought I'd share that with a story about just how special that was.
There you wouldn't
Anybody want a statue?
Yeah. And by the way, she had to use a derrick to get it from my house to her house.
So she gave you
because it was so heavy.
a little naked statue and you didn't want it?
Yeah, no. You know, when you try to imitate a masterpiece, you've got to do something besides get a painting by the numbers.
And so my little granddaughter says, Grandma, why do you have a naked lady in your yard? I'm trying to figure out a way to add concrete to it, make her some arms, and put some clothes on her with some paint.
Yeah, might be a good idea.
Oh,
'cause,
my.
a couple of neighbors I caught looking at it with binoculars.
Oh, my.
Like I said,
They thought-
anybody want a statue?
They thought it was Kathy.
Oh, my.
Easy, Killer, easy. That I wouldn't have told. All right, I just thought I'd share.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear from you.
Happy birthday, Terry.
Thank you, Kathy.
And now our Better late than never. Pet
Today's
shop.
pet tip is brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets, large and small, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at peoriapetcrematory.com.
Pet lovers are dedicated to their animals, all species from horses to turtles and of course cats and dogs. If you are a pet lover, learn these little known, somewhat amazing facts about your pet. Cat owners are full of stories about their pet's aloofness, yet when left alone for too long, these critters can show their displeasure. Since cats have better memories than dogs, they can punish an owner for that loneliness by refusing to interact with you once you do come home. Tests conducted by the University of Michigan concluded that while a dog's memory lasts no more than 5 minutes, a cat's memory can last as long as 16 hours, exceeding even that of monkeys and orangutans. Cats have 5 toes on each front paw, but only 4 toes on each back paw. Cats have over 100 vocal sounds, while dogs only have about 10. A pack of kittens is called a kindle, while a pack of adult cats is called a clouder. Now, who thought that up? Cats do not have sweat glands. A cat can jump as much as 7 times its height. The cat skeleton contains more than 230 bones. A human has only about 206. And the pelvis and shoulders are loosely attached to the spine. This gives them the flexibility that allows them to fit through very small spaces. But it's also a reminder of how fragile their spine is and how handling them and picking them up properly to prevent injury is a must. Now go count your cat's toes. I know you're dying to check out my facts. This whisker of information has been made possible by a grant from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting in partnership with Spot, Saving Pets One at a Time, and KSBR Studios. Produced by Joseph C. McGuire and theme music by Stuardo Glasser.
Today's pet tip has been brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets, large and small, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at peoriapetcrematory.com.
And a pleasant good morning, everybody. It's Friday, August 8th, and let's start with a check of the weather brought to you by Matt Wall, CPA with Gordon Stockman & Wall for more than 40 years. Matt has been handling tax returns and other financial matters for individuals and businesses. His phone number, 309-692-4030.
Sunny, very hot today, 92 degrees, that heat meter at about 102. Clear skies tonight, low 77. Tomorrow, sunny. Hot again, 93. Chance for a little bit of rain on tomorrow, though. Sunday, partly sunny. Chance for showers. Not as hot, only 88. Monday's high 87. And more chance for rain. We're going to hear all about some weather with Kyle Varnold, our meteorologist, in the 8 o'clock hour. And right now, we're at 72 degrees.
And very muggy on the outside. There's no question about it.
95%
That
humidity.
is high humidity, right. Thinking about selling your home, buying another home? Talk to Kathy Reynolds of Brilliant Real Estate. She's available 24/7 to help you through the process. Her phone number, 309-696-2162. You can call her. We just heard from her. She's up.
Yep, she is up.
You bet. And here's our lead story.
Another shooting in Peoria yesterday afternoon around 4 p.m., this time in the area of Moss and Douglas. Officers found a man who took a bullet to the leg. He was rushed to a local hospital. No other details released by police, including the victim's condition.
Another guy was trying to sell an electronic item on social media. He became a victim of an armed robbery. While waiting for the alleged buyer in the 2400 block of West Proctor, he was approached by 2 persons, one who had a gun. He had like an electronic item, so he lost.
The Peoria County Sheriff's Department reports the
He
arrest.
brought a Walkman to a gun show.
Yeah.
Oh, very good.
That was very. Let's hear it for sit-down comedian Dr. Gene Sidler.
That was a good one, Doc.
It was good.
The Peoria County Sheriff's Department reports the arrest of 26-year-old Donald Shaw of Galva on a variety of charges. Shaw attempted to elude sheriff's deputies on his motorcycle at Harmon Highway and Airport Road. He was captured when his motorcycle ran out of gas.
Congratulations to the Peoria Fire Department. The department has received accreditation status from the Commission on Fire Accreditation International. Designation comes after 2 years of review and evaluation. That accreditation is similar to the evaluation process of hospitals by joint commissions on accreditation of healthcare organizations.
Democrat judges are still waging judicial war against the Trump administration. The latest attack comes from Florida federal judge Kathleen Williams, an Obama appointee, who halted construction at Alligator Alcatraz, the federal detention immigration center. Judge Williams did say ongoing processing of illegals could continue. The Democrat judge agreed with a left-wing environmental group called Friends of the Everglades, who claimed the facility was built without environmental reviews. Additional construction is halted for 14 days.
Meanwhile, the Trump administration has filed a petition to the Supreme Court seeking to pause a lower court's restrictions on how ICE authorities can conduct operations in Southern California. The judge said immigration officials cannot use language spoken, location, or job as reasons to ask a person about their immigration status.
Some of those Texas Democrats are still in Illinois, and Texas is still unable to hold a quorum to conduct business in the state house. The business not only includes approval to redistrict areas of Texas, which would give Republicans another 5 congressional seats, but also includes approval of financial aid to people seeking to rebuild their homes and lives following those devastating floods.
Well, did you hear about the new medical study about eggs? Australian researchers conducted a study and found that eating 2 eggs a day as part of a low saturated fat diet reduced LDL cholesterol more than an egg-free diet. Researcher John Buckley of the University of South Australia said it's not foods that are high in cholesterol that increase blood levels of bad cholesterol, but it's the saturated fats in the foods we consume. Eggs are high in cholesterol but low in saturated fat, he said. Only 61 people participated in that survey.
Don't we also, I think you mentioned, manufacture our own cholesterol?
Yeah, at least half of what we have in our bloodstream is manufactured, and much of that is manufactured from saturated fats in our diet. So there is some factual information there, but I think other studies in the past have clearly shown that high cholesterol intake can also increase blood levels of your
So
circulating
should we eat
cholesterol.
eggs? What's the bottom line here?
Well, yeah.
Just
You can eat eggs, and humans probably for millions of years have eaten eggs and not had harmful effects from them. But if you ate excessive numbers of eggs, or if you were somebody who genetically was predisposed to high cholesterol and heart disease,
Some people are they not?
absolutely
Oh,
so.
I
Yes.
am. I have a very high producer.
You do?
We have
Oh, yeah.
we have better ways of treating that these
Yeah.
days, but it's still advisable to go easy on the cholesterol intake.
Yeah. You remember there was a number of years ago a report that came out that basically urged people not to eat eggs. But
right.
but I didn't check it out. I went
I
ahead
didn't either.
and
Good for you.
ate
I wanna
eggs.
know.
I love eggs.
That's an excellent report.
Yeah.
I've always wondered, years ago, someone was sitting there
Wonder where the yellow
and
went?
saw this funny-looking bird expel, I guess, if you will,
Drop is another word.
this thing out of its body, and somebody said, I think I'll eat that. I mean, I don't know how this started. That's the
It
weirdest.
probably was easier than trying to catch the bird, because
Yeah, that's right.
the bird flew off into the air and left the eggs behind. Well, I'll take those.
And it's easier to prepare, I think, eggs than chicken. How do you prepare your chicken?
Yeah, they just tell them
They're going to die.
they're going to die. We've probably beaten that chicken to death. You know what?
I've done that joke.
No.
every
Well, we have a couple other stories, do we?
At
or
least
what's-
one more, yes.
Okay.
And that is that Peoria City Councilman Andre Allen will
Yes.
be our guest at 7:30 this morning.
Maybe.
Yeah, unless he says I don't want to
been
be
lying.
there.
Chicken
He'll be here because we have cake.
Maybe you'll bring egg
We're going to
sandwiches.
cut the
gonna-
cake pretty
gonna
soon.
do the
Oh,
birthday
I love
cake,
egg
yes.
sandwiches.
Did you bring candles?
No, because fire code.
Oh, okay. All right.
Probably a good idea.
All right. And that's the news, Raj.
And that's the news.
Yeah.
I thought it was her story and yours.
Well, she didn't say that's the news. I can do it. I'm part of the news. That's part of my deal. I can do that if I want.
Yeah, and you usually do. All right, let's see what WCBU has to say this morning.
From the WCBU Newsroom, I'm Ben Howell. The Distillery Labs Innovation Hub in downtown Peoria is entering its second year looking to build on momentum. Executive Director Doug Cruitt says they've cast a wide net in trying to help people get their businesses off the ground.
We've really connected in a meaningful way with more than 250 startup founders. Within 12 months, a small handful of those combined to raise over $1.5 million to take their vision, their dream to the next level.
Cruitt says the health tech and ag tech sectors have proven to be strengths so far. He says a boot camp planned for this fall will explore specific pathways for getting health tech entrepreneurs to develop scalable business models. Governor J.B. Pritzker says if Texas and other Republican majority states do redraw new congressional districts outside of the usual schedule after census periods, Illinois and blue states might follow the political escalation.
None of us want to do it. None of us want to go through a redistricting process. But if we're forced to, it's something that we'll consider doing.
In an NPR interview, Pritzker also said Republican map makers are trying to disenfranchise black and brown voters. Texas Democratic state lawmakers have fled to Illinois to prevent a quorum that would let the GOP redistrict. A 48-year-old Pekin woman has been sentenced to 16 years in prison after pleading guilty to solicitation of murder. Allison Salinas was accused of asking a former out-of-state boyfriend for help in hiring someone to kill her husband, Patrick Salinas. Tazewell County court documents show Salinas entered her guilty plea before Judge Chris Doskotch last week. She admitted discussing the murder plot in multiple phone, text, and social media conversations dating back to late 2023. No attempt on Patrick Salinas' life was ever made. And shoppers in Morton will continue paying a 1% grocery sales tax on January 1st when the state's tax expires. The village board this week approved establishing its own grocery tax to replace lost revenue from the state tax. Village attorney Patrick McGrath says the move does not mean shoppers will face a tax increase next year. Instead, the same tax is just being collected differently. Trustee Steve Leach cast the sole vote against the tax. I'm Ben Howell.
You know, I would love to interview the guy on the Morton Board of Trustees who voted against levying the 1% grocery tax. Okay, pal, we're going to lose $500,000 in tax revenue. What's your solution? You know, just don't be against something. Tell us how you're going to replace the money that was lost when the governor ended the 1% grocery tax. And I have a question for the governor. Why'd you do that? And now with sports, here's Dr. Gene Stiller.
Yes. Well,
Are you for the grocery tax or against it?
you change the subject is what I'm for here.
Okay. Now with sports, that's tax-free. Here's
Brought to you by-
brought to you by Illinoisans for 1%.
What happened to Bradley fans?
BradleyFans.com.
Oh, that's right. BradleyFans.com. That was a not so subtle tip, wasn't it? Yeah. BradleyFans.com.
I tried to set it up.
Well, we'll start with baseball news, but there wasn't much of it. The Chicago Cubs were off yesterday. They're 4 games behind the Brewers, the National League Central Division. Brewers been very hot in the last couple of weeks, while the Cubs have been kind of lukewarm. So they've got to get going. There's 48 games left to play in the regular season. The Cubs currently holding on to the top wild card spot in the National League. So it looks like they're in a good shape for the playoffs, but they could do better. They will play the Cardinals tonight in St. Louis. Cardinals, on the other hand, have kind of been on a downslide here in the last few weeks. They are now 13 games behind the Milwaukee Brewers. They will host the Cubs tonight in St. Louis. They were off yesterday as well. The White Sox did play yesterday. They lost out on the West Coast to Seattle Mariners in an afternoon game yesterday, 3-2 in 11 innings. They return home and play the Cleveland Guardians tonight in Chicago. And the Peoria Chiefs lost to the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers 9-0 last night. That series with the Timber Rattlers down at Dozier Park will continue through Sunday. There were 3 NFL preseason games last night. The Baltimore Ravens beat the Indianapolis Colts. Projected Colts starting quarterback Anthony Richardson left the game with a dislocated finger, so that is a bummer, but that's something that should heal in the few weeks before the season starts. Philadelphia Eagles beat the Cincinnati Bengals 34-27, and in a late game, the Las Vegas Raiders and Seattle Seahawks played to a 23-23 tie. 3 more games tonight in NFL preseason, 8 games tomorrow and 2 on Sunday. One of Sunday's games is the Chicago Bears playing against the Miami Dolphins at noon Sunday up at Soldier Field. The Bears are 3-point favorites in that game. New head coach Ben Johnson still not ready to commit. He says that the chance of the starters playing is yet to be determined. And the Dolphins and Bears actually do face off in a joint practice today as both teams prepare for Sunday's game. And the Little League World Series is coming up starting next week, but a team from Clarendon Hills, Illinois will represent the Great Lakes region. Little League World Series breaks the U.S. down into different regions, and the Great Lakes is Indiana, Illinois, Ohio, and Michigan. And for the second year in a row, it'll be an Illinois team representing. This year, it's Clarendon Hills, Illinois Little League. Good luck to them out in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. The games out there start on August 13th next week. So that's it for sports.
Yeah. I was watching Hawaii. What is it, Hawaii or Hawaii?
Hawaii.
Well, it depends on if you're there, if you're from there or not. Are you from there? It's just Hawaii.
Yeah. Is it Hawaii? You say Hawaii or Hawaii?
No, Hawaii.
Hawaii.
You're welcome. Any rate, Hawaii won the Western Division, and they had an excellent ball club. And you know, interesting, the umpires are just as bad in Little League as they are in the major leagues, calling balls and strikes. And some of the guys are, I guess, rehabbing. Put it very kindly. Well, anyway, it's interesting to watch these
Did you ever do
kids
that,
play.
Roger?
Yes, as a matter of
Behind
fact,
the
I
plate?
did. I
Behind the
didn't.
plate?
No,
No?
because you know when I did it back in the days when there were no batting helmets either, and I umpired, and I was the only umpire, and it was behind the mound because
Oh,
I
you
had to
stood
call
behind the
balls
mound.
and strikes.
Okay.
I had to call plays at first, second, third,
Oh, wow.
and home plate. So
Were you good at it? You were,
I thought I was good at it. I'm sure there are a number of players that didn't think I was very good at it, but I thought I was. And back then, most of what you were calling were fastballs. Not a lot of kids were throwing, or young guys were throwing breaking pitches. Now I get a big kick out of. They have a scorecard on the screen. How many in the last 10 pitches, what they threw. A sinker, a fastball, four-seam fastball, three-seam, no-seam, undressed, a whole ball of wax. You tell me what's the difference. Well, I know the difference between a curveball and a sinker. Well, Roger, the sinker sinks and the curveball breaks.
I knew that. I'm not a sports
You did?
guy, yeah.
Okay. What are some of the knuckleball? I don't see knuckleball called any. Am I missing some of the pitches?
Well, the
Sliders.
two-seam fastball is when you put your 2 fingers on the seams so that you're really just touching 2 seams. The 4-seam is when the ball is turned 90 degrees and you now are crossing the seams, and in a way you're actually making contact in 4 places with the seam.
Well, what's the ball do? What's the difference in
that's-
it?
that's the
the
question.
4-seam will give you a better grip, you can get more spin to it.
Okay.
And
But what does
spin-
it do different than a breaking pitch?
Well, again, spin rate is what determines how much curve or motion the ball might have. A 2-seam fastball will tend to rise, although it doesn't really rise. It just kind of doesn't drop as much. You know, every pitch drops some because of
Right.
gravity. The 2-seamer will tend to come in more straight or even rise a little bit. The 4-seamer might break a little bit in or out. It's all about, like I say, it's all about imparting spin and motion on the ball, except for a knuckleball. The idea with a knuckleball is to put no spin on it, and then it tends to
It just jumps all over, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the air as it hits the seams, tends to move it in an unpredictable way. Even the catcher doesn't know which way it's coming sometimes. So
That's why they had the big mitts.
they use a bigger
When
mitt.
they were,
Yeah,
who was your
they-
famous knuckleballer? Played for the White Sox, I believe.
Well, the White Sox had Hoyt Wilhelm.
Hoyt Wilhelm,
And he was
yeah.
one of the best ever. Yeah.
I think Elroy Face may have thrown a knuckleball.
I think he did in his last part of his career. Early on, I don't think he was. In fact, most knuckleballers don't start out as being knuckleballers. They have an injury or something, can't get as much velocity, so they're no
So
good
they throw
anymore.
the goofy
so they
ball.
develop the knuckleball.
Yeah.
But now there are still a couple knuckleballers. I think there was one in the major leagues this year, and there's another one that I think came and went, but just not many of them.
No,
'cause
no.
It's hard to
There-
master.
There's a few what they call knuckleheads in Congress, but I don't
Well,
know,
we
yeah.
have a good supply of them here.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm not sure I would have said for that matter. Here's a question for the panel. President Trump wants to restore the original name to the NFL Washington team from Commanders to Redskins. What's your thought about that?
Well, polls have shown that the majority of fans actually would favor that. Go back to the Redskins.
By the way, the ones who participated were not Indians in that poll.
Well, but I think they even have polled Indian tribe leaders, and they have found that they're not objecting
care.
to that as well.
Yeah, but you're not counting liberals.
There are some.
Yeah. It does sound kind of like.
I don't own any Washington Redskins memorabilia or apparel, so it doesn't matter to me, and I'm not a fan. But I can see why some people would want to go back if they've got shirts that say Redskins on them.
You know, I could see where some people would be offended by Redskins, Yellowskins. You know, now taking the field, the Chinese red Yellowskins. It doesn't sound very palatable. What I don't understand is why Cleveland dropped Cleveland Indians. You know, you've got the Atlanta Braves. What's the difference between the Atlanta Braves and the Cleveland Indians, other than the size of the teepee?
Indian is considered a bit of a slur. It's the
Indian?
name
Well,
that
that's what they
Europeans
are.
gave to the
To Native
indigenous
Americans.
people in
Right.
North
Well,
America.
what were you going to
Because
call
they
them?
thought they were in India when they had come around the
Yeah.
earth that far. They thought, well, surely we must be in the Indies by now, but they weren't. Anyway, yeah, that one probably should stay buried. And in fact,
Do you think
Indians,
Cleveland Indians is offensive?
I don't, but there are some who do.
Well,
and
yeah, but you can't.
And the logic behind it is that it is not the name that they wanted to be called at any time in the past.
So what do you call an Indian reservation?
The reservation.
Reservation. I mean,
Well, that would...
A Native American reservation, an indigenous people's reservation.
Well, you can't even say it, so how are we gonna...
I came close. Now, give me a break.
Well, I tried the word redistricting.
I'll say that.
You know, I heard somebody on one of the cable networks struggle with it, and they laughed.
It's
I
a
said,
hard
they
word to
must,
say.
redistricting. It is hard to say, for that matter. So, you did okay on reservation.
Reservation, I did okay.
Yeah.
Indigenous, I slurped a little bit.
Well, at any rate, there are a lot of things that the president should worry about rather than
That's
the name of
probably
Washington.
lower on his list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know one thing about him, he doesn't worry about it, anybody being
No,
offended.
he just
Right.
spews stuff
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
But I
That's
just-
a good word for it, spews.
I just think at this point in time, the cost to put everything back. I mean, they've done the letterhead, all the stadium and all that kind of stuff. Nice thought, but it should have said something a long time ago. Now it's a done deal. Leave it alone. Move on.
yeah,
Move on.
good.
You know, they had a sale at Dollar General years ago on sports memorabilia, and I bought every one of, I think, 5 hats for 10 points. What do you think I bought? What sports logo was banned?
University of Illinois
That's it.
Chief.
Oh, yeah. Chief
And,
Alana Wack.
and you know what? Alina Wick.
Alana Wack. Wick?
Wick, yeah. Alina Wick is how I
Wick.
pronounce it.
W-E-K, WEC.
Yeah.
Weck, Helena Weck. Okay. Go ahead.
I don't know whether this story is true.
You've told that before, that's why I guessed it, but
Yeah,
go ahead.
Helena Weck. At any rate, I don't know whether the story is true, but Royce claims it is. Who was the well-known Indian leader that used to visit different towns to cause...
Yeah, I know who you mean. Michael Haney or something was his name.
Yeah, I think that's right.
It was around, I thought it was around, like Childs, something like that. What was his name? At any rate,
Haney does sound
he was,
familiar.
well, that's one of the names, but that was not the name of the guy that came to Peoria. And, you know, the Paramarquette Hotel on the Madison side of the hotel had escalators, one that went up and one that went down. Well, this Indian, and he's a big guy, and Royce and Skinny were coming down the escalator when this Indian leader was going up, and Skinny turned and looked at him and said, "Do you have a reservation?" And Russell Means. Does that ring a bell?
That is another
That
name,
Russell
yeah.
Means just came to me. Gosh, and I still don't take prevention.
Wow.
But Russell Means, and he's a big guy, and he gave, if he had a bow and arrow, Skinny would be dead as a result of that. At any rate, I don't know where that leaves us, but it leaves us with this message.
How can you measure the value of education-based athletics? Well, the value is in what makes it invaluable. That's because school sports aren't just about winning, they're about learning and growing. School sports aren't just about gaining trophies and accolades, they're about learning life lessons, bringing a whole community together, developing character and integrity, having coaches who mentor you, and teammates who become lifelong friends. And you can't put a price on any of that. That's what makes education-based athletics invaluable. Of course, when you participate in school sports, you want to win and become a better athlete, but the purpose is so much greater, becoming a better person. Support your local school sports programs, and if you have a student, encourage them to get involved.
This message presented by the NFHS and the National Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
You know, we had one of our viewers indicate that thought we should name the Cleveland team the Wild Things. That's not a bad idea. Speaking of wild things, that isn't how we introduce a member of the city council. My goodness.
Wow.
Terry, why did you say something like that? Andre Allen is here. Good to see you, Andre.
Hey, thanks for having me, Mr. Moreau. It's always a
Thanks for
pleasure.
coming in, and thank you for recognizing I'm distinguished with the Mr., but you can call me Roger.
Okay, I'm sure you've been called worse.
Yes.
This morning.
You've been listening to my fan club, for sure. Tell us a little bit about Andre Allen.
Yeah, absolutely. Long life Peorian. Graduated from Peoria Public Schools, class of 2007 at Richwoods High School. After high school, went to Illinois Central College for 2 years. Transferred to Eastern Illinois University.
Well, you know, you're sitting next to an Eastern Illinois alum.
Go Panthers.
What'd you major in at Eastern?
So my undergrad degree was public relations with a minor in business. And then I got a graduate assistantship as an academic advisor. So I stayed for my master's and got a master's in sports administration. Originally, I wanted to have a career in athletics, so I did a few internships with our athletic department, but I was also working as an academic advisor with my graduate assistantship. And my mentor at the time, he said, look, when you get ready to graduate, employers are going to look at that 2 years of you being an academic advisor versus you doing a couple of internships in the athletic department. And so I applied to a position at Illinois State right out of grad school, got hired as a full-time academic advisor. I met my wife, and we started dating and proposed to her during graduate school. And so I got hired at Illinois State, and that's what brought us back to Central Illinois. And then she ended up getting a job in housing at Illinois State. And so we actually lived on campus in Waterson and in Tri-Towers for a couple years, raising our oldest. And then ultimately an opportunity at Methodist College presented itself. They had just moved from the old Ramada Inn downtown.
Out to the American Appliance.
Yeah, where I got my Toshiba laptop when I went to ICC, right? So full circle moment. They had just remodeled the American furniture, and then they built those brand new campus apartments behind
the building there, and they were looking for a student life coordinator to move into the apartments and facilitate that campus life culture. They were really trying to transition from being more of a commuter school to create more of like a residential campus life component. And so I was hired in 2016, lived in campus housing for a couple years. We had
You spent a lot of time in campus housing.
I did. It was a good gig.
I was going to say,
Saved a lot of money.
I would say smart thinking on your part.
Yeah, but what happened in 2018, we had our second child, and it's hard to have 2 kids under 4 in campus housing.
I was going to say, it almost sounded like you were living to some students at a daycare center.
Yeah, absolutely. But we had good babysitters around us, I will say.
Yeah, I would say, hey, I will take care of the kids.
Yeah, they were very solid. So in 2018, I was actually elevated to Dean of Students. I had a great supervisor at Methodist College who believed in me, probably more than what I believed in myself. And so I ended up moving off campus. We bought our first home, and I was in that role for about 6 years. I never saw myself getting into politics and government, honestly. But God had a plan, and sometimes we have our own plan, and He just smiles. And so I told myself, though, when I moved back in 2016 that I wanted to do more than just go to work and go home. And so I started just getting involved in different boards and committees. I started my own mentorship at my middle school, Sterling Middle School, called the Jaguar Squad. And then I decided to run for city council, and I guess the rest is history. And so I've been on the city council since 2021, just got reelected this past spring. And I'm enjoying the good work that we're doing, trying to move the district and the city of Peoria forward.
You know, your resume is truly outstanding until you decide to get into politics. I don't know if I'd put that on my resume. No, I'm just kidding. It's obvious you enjoy what you're doing on the city council.
Yeah, absolutely. It's personal to me. Again, being from Peoria, a lot of times I get calls from constituents, and by the time I get off the phone with them, after we talk about that pothole or that tall grass concern or that speeding concern, I find out I went to high school with their son. I know their daughter. My dad is one of 12, and he's a lifelong Peorian, so they know my family, and they're asking how my aunts and uncles are doing and things of that nature. So it's personal, and I feel like
who was your father?
So my dad, his name is Andre Allen as well,
okay.
and then
Who was the Allen who played for Bradley? Who was the great big guy?
Joe,
Yeah. Yeah, was he a relative?
I don't believe so.
No?
So I know there's multiple sets of Allens.
Yeah, Allen had a Southside newspaper.
Yeah, so we're not related to the Allens that own the Traveler magazine, but we're the 3rd Street Allens. So that's where my
Joe Allen was from Chicago, so I don't think he would be related to the
once
Allens
again, you're
from
wrong
Peoria.
on sports.
Well, I didn't know where he was from.
I
I just
know,
remember.
you seem to be wrong.
That was pretty good to come up with a Bradley name.
Yeah, it was.
I mean,
Yeah,
that was,
yeah.
you know,
For a
he was
guy
a
that's-
big dude, right? He was
Oh, he was big, yeah.
Well, I don't know if
by
you'd call
today's
him a
standards,
big
he was
dude.
6'6". Now we have guards that are 6'6".
Yeah.
But he played center, and he was a Hall of Famer at Bradley.
Yeah,
Does
he was.
does that sound familiar?
Well, you know what? My basketball skills are pretty micro, so I don't think
you
that Allen's part of our lineage.
You and Terry would form a great team I think Dr. Sidler and Terry Lynn could easily beat you. Probably spot you.
Hey, I'll just bring the Gatorade and the good vibes and cheer you all on. You know, I know my strengths, so it's all good.
All right, we're going to talk a little bit more about some of the issues that City Council is facing with 4th District Councilman Andre Allen. But we'll first of all pause to bring you up to date with the news and the weather at the bottom of the hour. 7:32 is our time, and our news brought to you by Bob Manning, the Senior Vice President, Financial Advisor with the Grandview Capital Group at Morgan Stanley in Peoria. For all your investment needs, check out Bob. He's available at 309-671-4653. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney, LLC, member SIPC. Here's Terry Lynn.
We had another shooting in Peoria yesterday afternoon around 4 p.m., this time in the area of Moss and Douglas. Officers found a man who took a bullet to the leg. He was rushed to a local hospital, and no other details released by police, including his condition. Hate to report that another gullible person seeking to sell an electronic item that he apparently advertised on social media became a victim of an armed robbery. While waiting for the alleged buyer in 2400 block of West Proctor, he was approached by 2 persons, one who had a gun, and he was robbed of his possession. The Peoria County Sheriff's Department reports the arrest of 26-year-old Donald Shaw of Galva on a variety of charges. Shaw attempted to elude sheriff's deputies on his motorcycle at Harmon Highway and Airport Road. He was captured when his bike ran out of gas. Sharp. Congratulations to the Peoria Fire Department. The department has received accreditation status from the Commission on Fire Accreditation International. The designation comes after 2 years of review and evaluation. That accreditation is similar to the evaluation process of hospitals by the Joint Commission on Accreditation of Healthcare Organizations. Democratic judges are still waging judicial war against the Trump administration. The latest attack comes from Florida federal judge Kathleen Williams, an Obama appointee who halted construction at Alligator Alcatraz, the federal detention immigration center. Judge Williams did say ongoing processing of illegals could continue. The judge agreed with a left-wing environmental group called Friends of the Everglades, who claimed the facility was built without environmental reviews. Additional construction is halted for 14 days. Meanwhile, the Trump administration has filed a petition with the Supreme Court seeking to pause a lower court's restrictions on how ICE authorities can conduct operations in Southern California. The judge said immigration officers cannot use language spoken, location, or job as reasons to ask a person about their immigration status. Some of those Texas Democrats are still in Illinois, and Texas is still unable to hold a quorum to conduct business in the State House. The business not only includes approval to redistrict areas of Texas, which would give Republicans another 5 congressional seats, but also includes approval of financial aid to people seeking to rebuild their homes and lives following those devastating floods. Now, here's a story about eggs, and there's no yolk. Australian researchers conducted a study and found that eating 2 eggs a day as part of a low saturated fat diet reduced LDL cholesterol more than an egg-free diet. Researcher John Buckley of the University of South Australia said, "It is not foods that are high in cholesterol that increases blood levels of bad cholesterol, but it's the saturated fats in the foods we consume. Eggs are high in cholesterol but low in saturated fat," he said. Only 61 people participated in the study.
You know, the bottom line is, I think Dr. Siddler says, go ahead and eat eggs, basically as many as you want, and not really, don't eat a dozen
Well, in
eggs in one
moderation,
day.
like everything
Yeah, it's
else,
like everything.
isn't
Not like the
Well
Cool
said.
Hand Luke deal, you know.
moderation.
That's
there are
that
some-
Cool Hand Luke, he ate, I don't know how many hard-boiled eggs. Remember that scene?
There are some people who probably should either avoid or go very minimum on egg intake if they are
High
predisposed genetically to high cholesterol or can't take statin drugs to keep their cholesterol lower. That may help. But yeah, just if your doctor tells you to avoid eggs, then maybe that's your best choice for you.
What would be the range for your cholesterol? What's the normal numbers?
When I started in practice, the upper limit of cholesterol was 250, and earlier than that it was even higher. Now we think under 200 and preferably under 180 for total cholesterol. And then, as Terry mentioned earlier, there's low-density lipoprotein, there's high-density lipoprotein cholesterols that differ. The HDL, high density, has a favorable effect. The low density is the bad cholesterol. So it is actually more important to have your blood checked and determine
You want the
that
HDL,
breakdown.
right? You want some of
Yeah,
that.
HDL is a protective effect against the deposition of cholesterol into the artery lining and the formation of plaque and artery blockage. But the LDL is the bad cholesterol. So you want the LDL to be as low as possible, preferably below 50.
Get the L out of there.
In that very low range. But
Very good, Terry.
yeah, there's other factors as well, and if you're a smoker or have high blood pressure, and again if you have genetic factors, all of those can multiply the effect of what those numbers do in your arteries. So.
Okay, that medical report brought to you by BradleyFans.com, and
we have a medical board too on Bradley Fans.
Yeah. All right, let's have a check of the weather brought to you by Steve Singh, managing partner of PHX Affiliates. Steve has been a business broker now for more than 20 years. You can get more information from Steve. He knows his business 309-696-8508.
Sunny today, Roger, and very hot, about 92. The heat meter is about 107 today.
The heat meter?
Yeah, the heat index is going to be horrible. Yeah. Clear skies tonight, low 77. Will seem kind of cold. Tomorrow, sunny and 93 with a little chance of rain. Sunday, partly sunny, chance for showers. Not as hot, only 88. Monday, high 87. Kyle Varnold is going to be here about 8:30 or so.
Carl is his brother.
Carl's his brother. He's going to send in Kyle this time.
Yeah.
Because he's the meteorologist. He's going to be here and tell us what the real weather is going to be like. Yeah, and how much rain we're going to get and when this humidity is going to stop and everything like that. Right now, 75, Roger.
All right, thank you, Terry. And if you just joined us, we're talking with City Councilman Andre Allen. And let's get into things that will get people upset.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's do it. Gloves off. Let's get them.
No, we are going to do that, but we are going to ask some questions that people want to know. Well, what kind of information do you have today about what exactly is the city going to do with 70 acres that were sold and purchased by the city from the Board of Exposition Gardens?
Yeah, absolutely. So first, let's just kind of talk about how we got here. Expo Gardens.
I assume you came by car. I mean, maybe you may walk. I don't know.
Yeah. Took Sterling, made a left. But no, Expo Gardens has been a staple in our community for years. Has provided so many memories to the city of Peoria and beyond. I grew up going to the fair and attending so many different activities, bringing my own family to the circus and the different activities that they had. Unfortunately, over the last several years, Expo Gardens, like many large venues, has been experiencing a lot of financial hardships just because people are changing the things they engage with. And Expo Gardens was not exempt to that. Me working with Expo Gardens the last several years because I am their district representative, I was aware of some of those things. We did our best to try to look at some opportunities, but Expo Gardens being a not-for-profit and things of their nature, there were certain financial tools that they just wouldn't be eligible for, and that's really challenging for them. And so we were made aware that they were having some difficulties with their bank, and they were going to be on the brink of foreclosing on the property. And so that created an opportunity for us to say, how can we possibly get in the driver's seat to ensure that the right development goes there that match the character of the surrounding neighborhood? We're not looking to be the developer. We're not looking to be the long-term landlord, but how can we ensure that the right development goes there? And so when we were approached with that opportunity, we looked at it. We saw how much the bank wanted for the property. And then also, too, Expo Gardens owed the city of Peoria about $500,000 in back due stormwater utility fees. And so we were also able to leverage that as well, too, if we can get rid of that fee. And then so Expo Gardens essentially selling the property to the city kills two birds with one stone. They can take care of the mortgage with the bank, and then they can also take care of the back due payment to the city of Peoria. And so when we were approached, at first there was some apprehension. Being on the city council since 2021, I understand the past decisions of councils of the past, and I hear about it all the time, and we have the scar tissue to show for it, whether it's the Pierre Marquette deal or Cub Foods and some of those development deals that the city got involved in, and it didn't go right. But also too, though, this particular deal was very different because we were able to leverage a state grant, so we were able to bring our state dollars home that goes to our land bank to buy this property. And so we have a deal with Expo Gardens, and we're looking to finalize that and to move forward with ideally putting single-family housing at Expo Gardens. That is a very prime area of Peoria, in between Richwoods High School and Northmore Road. When you think about the development that has happened along Northmore Road, I mean, I remember the days when I went to Richwoods High School and you had to walk the line very closely because there wasn't the wide sidewalks and things of that nature. I lived in Rolling Acres for a couple years going to Richwoods, and so it's just such a walkable neighborhood, and it's going to be a great prime location for a beautiful new subdivision that we look to bring to our area. And we need more housing. That's one thing that we do. We need more housing in the city of Peoria. It's a benefit for our entire city, and it's a benefit for our school district as well.
Well, the big question is, are there any developers? Have they shown any interest in purchasing the land for single-family residential?
So we haven't done an official RFP process yet,
Right,
which
yeah.
we will, but I've already had multiple contact me of just piquing interest, very excited about it, because again, this opportunity doesn't present itself every day. What's the old adage, God isn't making any more land? And when you think about all of the surrounding communities around us, whether it's Metamora, Dunlap, Washington, they've really been able to grow their communities because they have parcels of lands where they can just create these brand new subdivisions. Peoria, although we are in central Illinois, we're kind of a concrete jungle. You know, we've sprung out.
We don't have any area to expand.
We don't. We've sprung out. I mean, people bring up the days when Richwoods Township was like the newest subdivision area and things of that nature, but so now a lot of times when people are coming to our communities, they're looking for new builds, they either go to Dunlap or they have to go to some of the Mid-Illini towns. And so this is an opportunity for us to grow our census here in the city of Peoria, and then also grow and impact our school district as well.
I know you can't speak for the whole council, and so this question, but you can answer it for what you think and for your constituents and for your area. But to develop an area like that, very expensive, the infrastructure, and what the city makes you do when you put in the subdivision. You got to go in and put in the curbs and the gutters and all the sewage, and that's very expensive. You're talking about a multi-million-dollar deal before you sell one piece of property, before you sell one. Is the city interested in participating with a contractor and maybe waiving some of the requirements to develop a new neighborhood? It's awfully expensive to do that. I question how big of a community that we have here that wants to buy a house and what price range you're going to get in that area. But anyway, that's maybe too confusing to the story. The question would be, is the city going to participate and maybe, not require some of the upfront money to develop that area that they would otherwise?
Well, we haven't made any decisions yet because we are still at the genesis of this process. But I think all things are on the table because you just have to know the climate that you're in. Right now, it's very expensive to build. The cost of materials are very high. One of the things, though, that I think makes this development very unique versus some of the developments like this that happen in the Mid-Illini towns, going into cornfields and things of that nature, you already have a lot of the existing infrastructure already there. There's water, there's sewer, there's the internet access. A lot of times you're going into these communities and you don't have fiber and things of that nature. So there's a lot of existing things already there that will make this a little bit more, I would say, cost effective for developers. Also, too, we're exploring what financial opportunities can we provide to a developer as well, too. And I think that there's some economic tools that our economic development department will look at.
You're talking like TIF stuff?
That's a possibility as well. But and then also, too, again, the primary thing I want to voice about this is we have the land, and we saw what our neighbors just did in Pekin, where they just acquired land and then they just sold it to a data center as well too. So when you have land, that is a great bargaining chip that you can utilize for developers. And so if we're able to utilize that to ensure that it is a cost-effective initiative for a developer, that's what we'll do.
So you think this could be commercial too? You're not set on residential, or you're set on residential?
Currently it's zoned residential, but up front is zoned neighborhood commercial, the first two lots facing Northmore. So one of the things that I even said during this conversation is I could see it being residential in the back there, but up front, maybe because of the walkability of the neighborhood, you could have a small coffee shop. Maybe you could have a ice cream parlor where kids from Richwoods could come to afterwards and hang out. And so I think the possibilities are endless. And I think we also have to ensure that we're listening to what the constituents around the surrounding areas are looking for.
Well, that's important. Are you going to have public hearings?
Oh, absolutely.
Good.
I mean, that's been, kind of the trademark of my leadership style. And, although the maps have changed, I used to represent Rolling Acres. I've got great relationship with them. I still currently represent Richwoods Knolls, Northmore Estates, Willow Knolls Recreation Association. And so I plan on there being a lot of interest in this project. And so we'll probably have to host like a town hall style meeting at Richwoods Gym or auditorium or something just to make sure that people are involved.
Was it ever discussed, either in your meetings or whatever, about what price range, maybe, and I don't want to get way ahead of the game, but what price range of maybe housing would go in there?
Yeah, there's been some preliminary discussions, and really, What we're seeing probably that $300,000 range, that 300 to 350 is probably what we're looking like. And if you look at the surrounding communities, that's really the going price for a lot of those neighborhood houses. Some shift depending on what neighborhood you look at. Rolling Acres is a little less than that, but when you go to, again, Richwoods Estates, Northmore Hills, when you go over across University, you go over by Teton, those houses range between that, I would say right now, that 250 to upper 300s. And so we'll try to stay in that range as well too. But there could be some variation depending on what the developer wants to do. A developer may want to put something a little more mixed use as far as a little bit more affordable up front, and then maybe have some higher prices homes towards the back depending on what they're looking to do.
You've done your homework, no question about that, Andre. Can you describe the land? I just was out there for the Heart of Illinois Fair. That didn't happen, but at any rate, we started at the entrance off of Northmore Road, and due to the great overwhelming numbers of people there, they were told us to go back and enter off of University. That's a huge parking lot. That's a large area of land. Where exactly we're talking about the 70 acres?
Yeah, so right now, again, there hasn't been any, studies or anything done, so you would have to bring in an engineering firm to make sure that everything makes sense based off. But so I can't really confirm how all the houses would be positioned and things of that nature. And then
But I mean, it's the land that you bought, the 70 acres. Is it off of Northmore or is it off of University?
So it's off of Northmore, and then it goes all the way back until that parking lot
that
area.
Big parking lot.
Almost until you get to the YMCA, almost.
Oh, really?
Back all the way up into there, yeah. So it's 70, 75 acres. I mean, that's a lot of land. It's a lot of land.
Yeah, I'm very encouraged by that, but as you know, some of the neighbors are concerned about, what's going in, and rightly so, and that's the value of the public hearings that you indicated the city's going to have. Where do we stand with the Chase building?
So the Chase building currently, I know that our corporation counsel works with their legal team. They put, I believe, $500,000 in an escrow account to start working towards some of the repairs. And so hopefully those repairs happen over the next year or so that way that building can be back in prime location and then can start, leasing and getting tenants back in there. Right now we have one of our most prime buildings in downtown Peoria, and it's a lemon, for lack of better words. And I work right across the street from the courthouse, and you come out there and it's unfortunate what has taken place at that Chase building. So slow and steady. I mean, I appreciate our corporation counsel really holding them to the fire, if you will, of, we kind of had to press them a little bit, and I get it.
Who actually owns that building?
So it's a gentleman out of California that owns the building.
Are you sure he's a gentleman?
I'm sure he's a gentleman and a scholar.
I heard there's some Koreans from Korea or something. Is he Korean?
I can't confirm his nationality.
Is that important to you?
No, it's not important.
I hear by profession he's a doctor. I'm not sure what type of doctor, though.
Oh, you got to watch those doctors.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Trust doctors. You can build an entire building of that size in the amount of time that it's been offline now here. So what is the delay? Why are things moving so slowly with that?
So the way I understand it, and I look at it like, let's say, for instance, a tree falls on your house. Before you go out and cash out your savings account to fix that repair, you're going to hopefully call State Farm or Progressive or Country Financial and get the insurance check to do the fixing. And that's what he was looking to do. Unfortunately, it took so long for the insurance company to assess the damages to the building and then ultimately start cutting some checks so that way he could start making those repairs.
I think we can all relate to that.
Absolutely.
Dealing with an insurance company
Absolutely.
is particularly with health matters.
It's tough.
Medical bills, yeah.
It's tough. And again, it's like before you go and say, hey, I'm going to go charge this to a credit card or cash out my savings account. Like, no, you all haven't took your time taking it out of my checking account every month, so why are you taking your time now to pay me back?
Yeah, that's tit for tat. How do you deal with the criticism? The most common one that I hear is that what's the city doing in the real estate business?
Yeah, absolutely. And I understand, and as I talked about earlier, we understand that there was decisions made by previous councils, and I don't fault those previous councils because they made decisions based off of the information they had at the time.
Yeah.
But we have learned from those decisions, and when I look at us buying the PNC building, for example, in the Creve Coeur and the adjacent parking deck, or us buying Expo Gardens. We're not issuing municipal bonds. We're not issuing debt to make these purchases. And so that is completely different. We are, I'm sure, more, and we will be more diligent on the developer that we choose. Because when the Pierre Marquette deal went down, I don't think no one had the foresight that that developer would exhibit certain characteristics in the future.
Well, no, because he was
Well, that's a nice way of
hometown
saying that.
guy, and so we thought, oh, well, yeah.
You hope for the best, you know, and so now we can be more intentional because we've learned from those decisions. But again, we're not looking to be in the development business. We're not looking to be long-term landlords. But I will say, though, and I know that people have philosophical differences of what the role of government is, you know, but based off of what our founding fathers did with this country, the role of government, in my opinion, has evolved. And based off of some of the things that I hear from constituents, they want us to get involved in things. They want us to have a vision for our city. They want our downtown to be vibrant again. They want us to have safe neighborhoods. They want us to grow our tax base so that way we can get into a position where we can provide tax relief to our existing constituents. These are some of the bold and strategic decisions that we have to make as a city.
I have a very important question. Where'd you buy your sport coat?
Oh, this one right here.
I'm impressed.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. So one of my first jobs was at Kohl's.
Over in East Peoria or out here?
Out here off Will and Knowles, yeah. And so they gave me my first credit card, $200 limit. And so I've been a frequent flyer of Kohl's. I get the 30% off, and then I get the Kohl's cash and all that. So shout out to Kohl's and Will and Knowles Shopping Center. This is where I got it for, and I got a good deal.
I'm impressed now. Did your wife pick it out? Or did
you know what? I did this one myself, Mr. Monroe. I did, but I typically follow her lead, and I take direction very well. We live in a monarchy in the Allen household. It is not a democracy. Shout out to my wife, Julie Allen. I love you, baby.
There are no votes taken at the
no filibuster happening in the Allen household.
Kiss up at it. You set off the line.
You know, I hear a lot of very complimentary remarks about you, and do you have higher aspirations?
You know what? When I get that question, I just say this. You know, my goal is to go where God and the people take me. You know, I didn't see myself getting into political office. I just am someone who loves Peoria and just want to make an impact wherever I'm called to serve. So I appreciate the opportunity. I don't take it for granted, especially when people give you their most valuable currency, and that is their vote. You know, and I've been fortunate to be elected 2 times now. And so right now I'm focusing on District 4. We've got some great projects that we're planning in my first term that I'm looking forward to seeing fruition in my second term. Looking forward to seeing the projects that we have going on throughout the city of Peoria. And then from there, we'll see what the future holds. But right now I'm just focusing where I'm planted and doing good work for my constituents.
Does God vote in the mayoral race?
I think he abstains. What
are the district boundaries for 4th District?
Ooh, it's so unique now after the map changed to 22.
So you've been involved in redistricting.
I have, and it's very unique. No, but it starts right on the other side of Kroger's on Sterling on Richwoods near where you live at, Miss Terry. That's how me and you got acquainted. And then you go up Sterling, and then
was she complaining?
Yeah, was she a complainer?
She and others voiced their concerns about a project.
In other words, she was complaining, was it?
Yeah, they voiced their concerns.
Well, she does that on the show, too.
Yeah. Yes, she had.
What color is it?
It's the brown one, I think.
It's the purple one. Yeah, she's the purple one. She demonstrated her civic engagement, and we appreciate that.
That's a great way to put it, boy. I tell you, you are a politician, Andre. Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's a winner.
Yeah, but no, so it goes up Sterling, it makes a left on War Memorial, and it goes all the way out to the shops of Grand Prairie. It's a very unique and diverse district, and it's very large. I mean, when I was knocking on doors this past election cycle, that's what made my election so unique, because the district that I was elected to in 21 changed so much in 22. Yeah. It was almost like, I was an incumbent, but there was neighborhoods that I just hadn't had a chance to interact with. And so I was getting like 15, 20,000 steps a day. Wow. Stress and steps was my diet.
You look like you're in great shape.
I'm losing a little bit. My wife got me working out with her trainer. She's been working. She does pageants, so she came home about
She's good looking, yeah.
Oh yeah. I'll kick to my coverage, Terry, for sure. But she came home and she said, hey, hey, I talked to Steve, that's our trainer, and he's got a men's group starting, and he said he can get you in starting tomorrow. And I took hint. Hey, you need to get it together, Double Chin. So I've been working out with a Guardian Fitness, shameless plug.
I think you were the victim of a conspiracy, frankly speaking.
I take direction very well, Mr. Barone.
Well, thanks for coming in. God bless you for what you're doing.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate you all. Listen every morning. Thank you.
God bless you. Thank you. We'll be right back.
Every 2 seconds, somebody in America needs blood. You can help by donating blood at your local American Red Cross. Donating blood is easy. It only takes about an hour, and a single donation can help save more than one life. This is Alex O'Loughlin asking you to donate blood to help somebody in need. A friend, a neighbor, or somebody you haven't even met. Call your American Red Cross at 1-800-GIVE-LIFE or visit them at givelife.org. The need is constant. The gratification is instant. Give blood.
Think about everything that you save. You save gas, you save money, you save time. But have you ever thought about saving life? That's right, life. In just 1 hour, you could save up to 3 lives, giving 3 people more time with the ones they love. And isn't that the best thing to save? The need for blood is as universal as it is constant. Save life, give blood.
Well, that wraps up hour number 2 of Breakfast with Roger and Friends. Yes, Sarah, you were going to say
He's an
something?
Eastern grad, so of course.
Yeah. That was a good plug. At any rate, we have news, weather, sports coming up next. Thank you, Andre Allen, for being a guest on our program. I'm sure he'll return quite frequently in the future. Look forward to it. In the meantime, we have news, weather, sports, brought to you by BradleyFans.com. Yes.
Watching the crawl across the bottom of our YouTube stream, I noticed that the sunrise now is after 6 a.m. Did you notice how dark it was this morning?
Yes, I did.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to rain and
It just
storm.
seems like all of a sudden the morning
Yeah.
ride is darker than it has been. Of course it is, because we're moving later into the year, but yeah.
Our days are going to start getting shorter now?
The sunrise is later and later each day, maybe approximately a minute later each day, and sunset a little bit earlier each night. So yeah, we'll see less and less daylight from this point on until the
Christmas.
spring vernal equinox. I get these all mixed up.
You follow that very well.
Set an egg
I
on it,
appreciate it.
right?
All right, news, weather, sports next on WACU FM 90.7 in Peoria, Illinois, and on YouTube as well. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good to see people watching on YouTube and listening on WAZU. In this portion of our program, brought to you by Sam Lilly and Associate. Sam is a insurance professional. He's been at it for over 40 years. He knows insurance. And if you have any questions, or you're thinking about changing from one company to another, he can do that. He is a broker, and you can reach Sam Lilly and Associates at 309-245-4374. Now check on the weather.
Sunny, hot, 92 today. Heat index 102. Clear skies tonight, low 77. Tomorrow, sunny, 93. Little chance of rain. Sunday, partly sunny. Chance for showers. Not as hot, only 88. Monday night, 87. Look for rain then, too. Kyle Varnold will be here, 15, 20 minutes or so, and we'll go over this forecast to see how accurate we've been all day. 75 degrees right now with about 95% humidity.
Yeah. It's muggy. It's muggy out there.
It's muggy.
Who was the name of the NBA basketball player had the first name Muggy?
Muggsy.
Oh, Muggsy. Well, it's Muggsy outside. What was his last name?
Bogues. B-O-G-U-E-S.
Yeah.
Oh, that was Bugsy.
He was a little
Bugsy
fella.
Siegel.
He was only about 5 foot. They had him listed, I think, at 5'4", but I think he's probably closer to about 5'5" or 5'6". But yeah, still very, small for an NBA player, and he had a pretty good NBA career.
Yes, he did. 5'2"
played
and
at,
eyes of blue.
Played at
Remember that song?
Flapper, yes, sir, one of those. Yes.
Played at,
That's, what's the rest of it?
He played at one of those
5'2",
Carolina
eyes of blue. I am going to kick you.
Flapper, yes, sir, one of those.
What's the name of the song?
5'2",
eyes of blue.
5'2" eyes of blue.
Thank you. All right. Advanced Medical Transport of South Illinois is sponsor of this madness. And in a time of sudden need, hey, these folks are great. We've talked about them many times. We haven't had Josh Bradshaw on lately. We need to get Josh of AMT on. They will be there in a matter of minutes with the most skilled and advanced pre-hospital care possible. AMT dedicated to providing a better life through better health.
Yeah, bring him in. I'd like to go for a ride, other than when I was sick. You know, I'd like, well, you know, it'd be cool with the sirens and stuff, but I don't want to be in it when I'm sick.
You know, speaking of that, and I've heard this numerous times, and I was just talking to someone on the phone who said, oh, it was sirens coming, an ambulance, fire truck, or a police car, or whatever. And he made the comment, people do not know what to do when they see an ambulance in their rear view mirror coming.
First thing they do is hit the brakes, which is a bad thing to do.
Oh, that was one of the questions on the driver's
license test. What was the question?
Well, when a service vehicle with lights and sirens is approaching, what are you supposed to do? And it was slow down, get over to the right as soon as you can.
Get over to the right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
They're supposed to be on the left. You get over to the right, and you slow down and or stop. Yeah.
Well, I think politically that's a good idea, but
that's how it's supposed to be.
I went to the left on Sterling when I had one
Roger,
coming.
You've never been to the left as long as I know.
Yes, every day I go to the left because if you're going south on Sterling to get on I-74, you have to get to the left. And I had room. Nobody was over there. I went to the left. And I couldn't go to the right if I wanted to because everybody was to my right.
Well, right, it depends. And
The circumstance. That's why that's a trick question.
Well, on a two-lane road, or
two-lane, okay.
Then yes, you get over to the right. You certainly wouldn't want to pull over to the left to get off as quickly as you can. And you're right, going down Sterling, if you're in the right lane, then you get over to the far right as you can. But if you're in the left turn lane, getting ready to turn left, then yes, you scoot over as much as you can to give them the right of way.
Right.
Scooch over.
Okay.
That's an official
How are you
word.
spelling that, anyway?
That's chaos.
We have Officer Friendly on the line. Good morning. All right, thank you. Another loyal listener.
I just thought, never mind.
Yeah. All right. You know, most radio stations have a producer that answer the phone and find out who they are, or at least if they're
let's
sane.
get one.
And hell, I can't even afford what we're doing now.
They work for free too, do they?
Yeah. No, nobody wants to get up this. Anyway, where are we? We're going to do the
We're
news.
getting ready to do the news.
Yeah,
yes.
in other words, and just remember, scoot over to the right.
Scooch.
Yeah.
You got to do it right.
not
Scooch.
Okay, scoot.
No, scooch.
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 Yeah.
Oh, scooch.
Scooch.
I never heard of that.
All
I've
these
never heard
years.
it. I've heard of scoot and scooter. I've heard of scoot.
No, I've heard of
SCOOT.
I've personally scooched before.
CHOO.
Sometimes it can be painful.
SCOOT.
No,
Scoot.
scooch.
It's just like a scooter.
How are you spelling it?
SCOTT.
No,
I mean,
SCOOTCH.
Oh, I've never heard of scooch. You guys
Well, that
are.
looks right.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, scooch.
Yeah,
a
see?
variant of scooch.
All right.
SCOOCH is to crouch or squat or move in.
There you go.
Pass through a restricted space.
There you go. There you
It's
go.
from origin unknown.
I've been a
mid-19th
scoocher
century.
my whole life.
I've never heard that word.
You've never scooched before?
I scoot. Look up
Scoot,
SCOOT.
everybody knows what scoot is. But
Well,
you have
so I would rather you
SCOOT.
scooch because you
have to know how to scoot.
Yeah, I don't know how, but I know how to scoot.
Well, you're not doing it right.
You know, this program is
People
just so
watching
informative.
right now think we must be drinking
Yeah.
under the table.
No,
here.
it's coffee. It really is just plain old coffee.
This is wine from Paris and the Louvre.
Just coffee and vodka.
Now the news.
Now in the
Let's see if
news.
we can scoot along.
Scooch along.
Another shooting in Peoria yesterday afternoon around 4 p.m., this time in the area of Moss and Douglas. Officers found a man who took a bullet to the leg. He was rushed to a local hospital. No other details released by police, including the victim's condition.
Another person was trying to sell some electronic equipment on social media. He was trying to scooch it along. He became a victim of an armed robbery while waiting for the alleged buyer, the 2400 block of West Proctor. The supposed buyer scooched up to him and presented a gun and robbed him of his possessions.
The Peoria County Sheriff's Department reports the arrest of 26-year-old Donald Shaw of Galva on a variety of charges. Shaw attempted to elude sheriff's deputies on his motorcycle at Harmon Highway and Airport Road. He was captured when his motorcycle ran out of gas.
Congratulations to the Peoria Fire Department. The department has received an accreditation status from the Commission on Fire Accreditation International. The designation comes after 2 years of review and evaluation. It's a long time. That accreditation is similar to the evaluation process of hospitals by the Joint Commission on Accreditation of Healthcare Organizations.
Democratic judges are still waging judicial war against the Trump administration. The latest attack comes from Florida federal judge Kathleen Williams, an Obama appointee, who halted construction at Alligator Alcatraz, the federal detention immigration center. Judge Williams did say ongoing processing of illegals could continue. The Democrat judge agreed with the left-wing environmental group called Friends of the Everglades, who claimed the facility was built without environmental reviews. Additional construction is halted for 14 days.
Meanwhile, the Trump administration has filed a petition to the Supreme Court seeking to pause a lower court's restrictions on how ICE authorities can conduct operations in Southern California. The judge said immigration officials cannot use language spoken, location, or job as reasons to ask a person about their immigration status.
Some of those Texas Democrats are still in Illinois, and Texas is still unable to hold a quorum to conduct business in the State House. The business not only includes approval to redistrict areas of Texas, which would give Republicans another 5 congressional seats, but also includes approval of financial aid to people seeking to rebuild their homes and lives following those devastating floods.
There's an interesting medical news story about eating eggs. Australian researchers conducted a study and found that eating 2 eggs a day as part of a low saturated fat diet reduced LDL cholesterol more than a free egg diet alone. Researcher John Buckley of the University of Southern Australia said it's not the foods that are high in cholesterol that increase blood levels of bad cholesterol, but it's the saturated fats in the foods we consume. Eggs are high in cholesterol, but low in saturated fat. So eat your eggs. Only 61 people participated in that study. They're all still alive as of today.
And that's the news.
From the WCBU Newsroom, I'm Ben Howell. The Distillery Labs Innovation Hub in downtown Peoria is entering its second year looking to build on momentum. Executive Director Doug Cruitt says they've cast a wide net in trying to help people get their businesses off the ground.
We've really connected in a meaningful way with more than 250 startup founders. Within 12 months, a small handful of those combined to raise over $1.5 million to take their vision, their dream to the next level.
Cruitt says the health tech and ag tech sectors have proven to be strengths so far. He says a boot camp planned for this fall will explore specific pathways for getting health tech entrepreneurs to develop scalable business models. Governor J.B. Pritzker says if Texas and other Republican majority states do redraw new congressional districts outside of the usual schedule after census periods, Illinois and blue states might follow the political escalation.
None of us want to do it. None of us wanted to go through a redistricting process. But if we're forced to, it's something that we'll consider doing.
In an NPR interview, Pritzker also said Republican map makers are trying to disenfranchise black and brown voters. Texas Democratic state lawmakers have fled to Illinois to prevent a quorum that would let the GOP redistrict. A 48-year-old Pekin woman has been sentenced to 16 years in prison after pleading guilty to solicitation of murder. Allison Salinas was accused of asking a former out-of-state boyfriend for help in hiring someone to kill her husband, Patrick Salinas. Tazewell County court documents show Salinas entered her guilty plea before Judge Chris Doskotch last week. She admitted discussing the murder plot in multiple phone, text, and social media conversations dating back to late 2023. No attempt on Patrick Salinas' life was ever made. And shoppers in Morton will continue paying a 1% grocery sales tax on January 1st when the state's tax expires. The village board this week approved establishing its own grocery tax to replace lost revenue from the state tax. Village attorney Patrick McGrath says the move does not mean shoppers will face a tax increase next year. Instead, the same tax is just being collected differently. Trustee Steve Leach cast the sole vote against the tax. I'm Ben Howell.
Thank you, Ben, for all the latest. Let's get into the world of sports, brought to you by BradleyFans.com with Dr. Gene Sidler. Good morning, Gino.
Thank you, Roger. We did have a limited number of baseball games yesterday. The Cubs were off. They're still 4 games behind the Milwaukee Brewers right now and need to get going a little bit with only 48 games left on the regular season schedule. St. Louis Cardinals were off yesterday, too. They're home to host the Chicago Cubs tonight in St. Louis. The White Sox were active yesterday. They did play out in Seattle against the Mariners and lost 3-2 in 11 innings. They return home to play the Cleveland Guardians tonight. Are we on? You're still showing the logo.
Yeah, that's because we have a distraction.
I didn't know.
Yeah. We're okay. You were on the phone, weren't you?
Yes, I was.
Okay, see, we heard this voice, and Terry and I were trying to figure out where it was coming from.
I think it was behind me.
Yeah, as it turns
I
out.
went way
Yeah.
around the corner, but
Yeah.
still.
No, everybody across the world heard you.
No, I don't. The Chiefs lost last night. Really were pounded 9-0. Only 3 hits for the Chiefs. They've had a rough year. And they lost to the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers, which is the only team that's below them in the standings, 9-0. Anyway, they'll play again tonight. They'll play through Sunday in the series down at Dozier Park. And there were 3 NFL preseason games last night. The Baltimore Ravens beat the Indianapolis Colts 24-16. The Philadelphia Eagles beat the Cincinnati Bengals 34-27, but Bengals fans were encouraged by the first 2 series of downs. Joe Burrow and the regular offensive players looked really good, moved the ball down the field and had 2 touchdowns early, but then the subs didn't do quite so well. So the Philadelphia Eagles, Super Bowl winners last season, and they beat the Bengals 34-27. And in the late game, the Las Vegas Raiders hung on to beat the Seattle. Oh, no, I'm sorry. The Las Vegas Raiders and the Seattle Seahawks tied 23-23. The Bears, they'll play Sunday at noon against the Miami Dolphins. And there's a whole bunch more games this weekend with 3 more tonight and 8 more tomorrow and a couple on Sunday. The Bears will play the Dolphins in their first preseason game at noon up at Soldier Field. That game should be on TV. Usually it's on Fox Network. And in Little League Baseball, next week is when the League World Series begins out in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. But ongoing now is all these regional tournaments and the Great Lakes Tournament, which includes Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, and Ohio, was won by a team from Clarendon Hills, Illinois. That's a south suburb of Chicago. So they will be headed to Williamsport to represent the Great Lakes region, and let's hope they do well.
I was wondered how you pronounce that. It's Clarendon.
Clarendon.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly is that? Because you say South, so by Joliet, or
it's a little bit east of Joliet.
east. Okay.
Trying to think what else it's near.
I never heard of that. It must be a really
it's
small
right
town.
on the toll road that circles
80.
Chicago.
Oh, 94.
No, 94. I think it is the toll road. My cousin lives in Clarendon Hills, and we used to get on the toll road and take it up to it's right next to Hinsdale, if you know where.
Oh,
Hinsdale
yeah.
is.
Okay, yeah, exactly. All right.
Yeah.
Huh.
Is it kind of an affluent subdivision?
I would say it's a little upper
That's
middle
what I
class
thought, yeah.
area. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Well, good for them.
Yeah, they have a good team, and I didn't get to see their games at all. I watched some of
I watched a little
You
of
saw
that
some
game,
of the
yeah.
Clarendon Hills team? I didn't catch any of that, but obviously they did well to win the Great Lakes tournament and move on.
Mm-hmm.
That's this weekend? Great. Also this weekend is the,
It's sports.
That is
It's sports. Okay, that's sports. Welcome to hour number 3. We'll get there in just a moment. In this hour, we're going to talk to our meteorologist, who's going to talk about redistricting. No. Kyle Varner will be here shortly. And before he gets here, let's bring him in on a happy note because he's a big booster at St. Mark's, and this is a big weekend for St. Mark's. What's going on?
well, it starts with 4:30 Mass. We haven't said that a whole lot of times. But anyway, it's a taste of St. Mark's. They don't have a taste of Peoria. They have a taste of St. Mark's, and it's just as popular, if not more exciting. Got a lot of neat stuff there. Blue Margaritas is going to be there.
And you don't have to go to the Mass if you're not
You don't have to go to the
Catholic or don't
Mass,
choose to.
but you're welcome. If you're not Catholic, you're welcome to
The
go.
service begins at, I think,
Around
5 to 10.
4:30, so then, about 5-ish.
5-ish.
5-ish, yeah, right after Mass.
And
Country Club Barbecue
some of
is
the
going to be
best
there.
restaurants in town are going to be represented there, as well
yeah.
as some private vendors.
And they have a dessert dash raffle. I don't know what that's going to be, but it sounds fun.
You get to eat the raffle.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. It's 50-50 live bands. There'll be some
Two
live bands.
live
Two.
Two live. Do we know who that's? We don't know
They're
who
not
it is.
listed,
Yeah,
but
Kyle told us who they were.
And it's only $15 a person, and that's food and not booze.
That's
You
a
got to buy
bargain.
the booze.
Do you think they've thought about raising prices?
I don't know if anyone's thought of that.
Yeah.
We'll have to ask Kyle. He's on the board.
Yeah, he's on the board. I'm surprised he hasn't brought it up.
Oh my
you know,
goodness.
he's so restrained.
But I thought what was
Yeah.
kind of neat is they're going to have some local people that live locally around there. It's going to be held at St. Mark's, which is
Local
they're
people who
under-
live around there.
yeah, local
That
people. They're
does-
handy,
That makes
handy
sense.
people.
Yeah.
They're local. They're
But
members of the parish.
member of the parish.
Yeah.
But they're going to bring food from
Their homes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
from
Right.
what they make at home. Like what's the one?
Street tacos.
Street tacos, which I'm not sure what a street taco is. I don't know what the difference between a taco, a street taco. What's a street taco? How's that different?
Well, that's a good
They are
question.
different.
How?
Maybe someone else
They
can
drop them in the street? What do they do?
Maybe someone.
The tacos are on these little small tortillas.
smaller
And
tortilla.
they're usually flour tortillas
Oh.
rather than corn.
Okay.
A lot of the vendors will give you like 2 of them to keep the juices from the meat from soaking through. And yeah,
The meat
that
more
sounded
braised,
tasty.
wouldn't you say?
yeah, more braised rather than like ground beef.
Right.
And I've seen chicken ones too, but they're usually beef or what's chorizo? Chorizo is
Chorizo,
pork.
the
sausage.
spicy
Something
sausage.
like that, and cabbage, a little bit of Mexican cheese. Not
Okay.
much else. They don't seem to put the salsa and all the other
Right.
things that some tacos come
What's
on.
chorizo related to caruso?
Chorizo.
Chorizo, it's a seasoned pork
Spicy
dish.
pork
Hey, we haven't heard
sausage.
from Teresa lately. I'm kind of surprised.
Who's Teresa?
Chorizo.
She's on YouTube.
But we've had a couple of people check in. Brett Ellis and Kendra.
Yeah.
Kendra Varnell.
I have a public service announcement.
All right,
What do
here's
you got,
Terry
Tara?
with a public service announcement.
Those of us that drive through I-74, especially going eastbound,
That's me.
That's how.
Yes.
That's Roger.
you know that they extended the 55 mile per hour speed limit because it was both going westbound and eastbound. It goes now like almost up to Pinecrest, the Pinecrest exit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because especially it wasn't so bad when you were climbing the hill and you're going from 55 to 70. That was pretty
Yes.
easy to accelerate.
Okay.
It was the coming down when you're coming back to Peoria when you'd see a sign, speed limit ahead, they have a little flag 55, and then boom, it was 55.
Right.
Okay.
Well, they've expanded. Now you can start slowing down at Pinecrest, so that gives you more time.
Westbound or eastbound?
This is westbound.
Westbound, coming into
Westbound,
Peoria.
So it gives you more time to slow down.
Yeah,
as you're
because
coming
usually
down
a
that
state
hill.
trooper would be
He's
saying,
sitting
but
at
they,
that little spot,
yeah,
yes.
yeah,
But you've driven that umpteen million times.
yes.
And there are occasionally people who are a little above that speed limit, right?
I would say your use of the word occasionally is totally inaccurate. Nobody drives.
all the time.
Nobody knows
Even my
the
trip
trouble
in
on
today,
street.
there were 2 or 3 cars that went by me that had to be doing well over 90.
Are you serious?
Oh, they were flying by me. I mean, they were gone in the distance in a minute.
I had a guy, he was doing probably 80, 85, past me, and it raises a question, are they going to the hospital emergency room? However, this guy who was driving a Mercedes, and they do that to let everybody know they have a hot car, he got off at Knoxville. Like he was headed to
And both
Dunkin'
of
Donuts.
these cars that I saw were after I had passed downtown and were headed out past the soccer field. They're headed toward.
See, these people know state police are not out.
They must know that. They must have an inside word that
They've got that app.
between 5 and 6 a.m. we are changing shifts or something, and there's nobody out there to catch you.
Is there an app for
Because,
that?
this is not a
There is an app that tells you where their radar.
Waze. Did you ever use WAZE?
No, I've used
Waze.
That'll tell you where
Google
they are.
Maps has come up before that there's a police car up, but not usually one that's got somebody stopped or something. Usually not. There's a police car running radar. I haven't
Right,
seen
but
that.
Waze is an app that
I'm
has all kinds of traffic information that
And they
is
tell you where they're
helpful,
running radar?
But people will also put in where there's somebody timing you with a laser timer or something.
I've got one on my car that the woman says, "Slow down. There is a state policeman."
Seriously?
No,
Wow.
I made it up. But they do have an app. Am I right on that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's
Because
more
he
than one.
looked askance
Well, I did,
at my comments,
see,
but he looks that way all the time.
I don't
so
break.
I don't know.
I don't break the law. I drive the speed limit.
Oh, I don't believe that for one.
Well, I'm on
There's
court
Waze
supervision. I have to.
Yeah. That do make sense. Say, I wanted to bring up
No, that's not true.
a question about what do you think the Friends of the Everglades membership includes? These are people that
Like alligators.
filed a lawsuit to, and the judge says, well, you may have a case here, so I'm not going to allow them to do any more construction for 14 days because we need to find out if they went ahead and did this without doing environmental studies.
Well,
As to whether or not it's going to harm the alligator.
It's on an army base, isn't it?
Well, it's on an airstrip. Whether it's a military airstrip.
The government
I
owns the
don't-
property.
I don't know
Yeah.
exactly
The
what it's,
military, I think, owns the
But
property.
it's a stalling technique,
So
and if they find a judge that they believe will be friendly to their appeal, they can get an injunction, a restraining order, or whatever it's called,
wasting time
and they
and
can
money.
just drag this out a little bit farther, and anything to counter the administration's actions. That's all they want.
And I think the ultimate goal is for these nutcases to shut down the friends of alligators and snakes and reptiles.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So forth.
Anything to remove the snakes would be a good thing. Is it the anaconda
Well,
or the boa constrictors that have taken
that's
over?
un-American for you to say something about snakes.
No, because these are invasive. They've come, the pythons. Anyway, something
I
has
don't
come
think
in
they have
that's not
anaconda.
native.
Well, there's restrictors, aren't they?
Yeah, I don't think they have anacondas down there.
I think maybe it's the python. Anyway, they came in and they're huge.
Did they go through the security and the border?
What do you mean they came in? Illegally? What are we talking?
Yeah, the people have brought them in as
People
pets.
brought them in as pets,
Oh.
And then
they'd
they
let 'em go.
let them go. And
Oh, well, there's not that many of them, is there?
No, probably not, but they are
Oh, you know
increasing.
what? They did have, I take that back. They did have a bounty, I think, in Florida
On snakes?
on some kind of a snake that they wanted to get rid of.
yes, because it's an invasive species.
Yeah.
You know, if people are interested in preserving the Everglades, which is the claim here, I-75, which used to go down the Gulf side of Florida, a few decades ago was extended all the way across the Everglades. Used to be the what was Alligator Alley, Tamiami Trail. I-41 used to be the only route over to Miami. Now I-75 does. But they just built it on essentially a causeway all the way through the Everglades because it's mostly watery swamp. Well, what they didn't realize and what the ecologists now realize is that there is a gradual flow of water from the north to the south in the Everglades, and this causeway blocked it off. And so it led to all kinds of damage and destruction to the ecosystem, a lot of species wiped out. flooding in some areas north of the causeway, and drought in the south part of it. So the last couple of governors in Florida, and I've driven that now, you see the effects of this, have tried to reconstruct this causeway and put bridges every couple of miles so that the flow of water and the Everglades can kind of restore itself back to the way it was. Now, it'll probably, again, take decades to get the whole ecosystem starting to get back more toward normal, but it's just an example of how humans do sometimes kind of mess up, and because they didn't realize how much water flowed through the Everglades. Everybody thought, well, it's kind of a stagnant swamp in there. Nobody's going to notice if we put a big causeway all the way through it, but it did. Yeah, it did mess things up.
Thank you, Jack Hanna, for that.
Okay. Anything I can do to help.
Story that was.
Yeah. So yeah, the last time we were down there and we drove across there, a lot of construction because every few miles there's one of these raised bridges to allow for that water flow to at least try to restore a little bit more toward normal.
Well, you inspired me now. Time for our pet tip.
Today's Pet Tip is brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets, large and small, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at peoriapetcrematory.com.
Pet lovers are dedicated to their animals, all species from horses to turtles and of course cats and dogs. If you are a pet lover, learn these little known, somewhat amazing facts about your pet. Cat owners are full of stories about their pet's aloofness, yet when left alone for too long, these critters can show their displeasure. Since cats have better memories than dogs, they can punish an owner for that loneliness by refusing to interact with you once you do come home. Tests conducted by the University of Michigan concluded that while a dog's memory lasts no more than 5 minutes, a cat's memory can last as long as 16 hours, exceeding even that of monkeys and orangutans. Cats have 5 toes on each front paw, but only 4 toes on each back paw. Cats have over 100 vocal sounds, while dogs only have about 10. A pack of kittens is called a kindle, while a pack of adult cats is called a clouder. Now, who thought that up? Cats do not have sweat glands. A cat can jump as much as 7 times its height. The cat skeleton contains more than 230 bones. A human has only about 206. And the pelvis and shoulders are loosely attached to the spine. This gives them the flexibility that allows them to fit through very small spaces. But it's also a reminder of how fragile their spine is and how handling them and picking them up properly to prevent injury is a must. Now go count your cat's toes. I know you're dying to check out my facts. This whisker of information has been made possible by a grant from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting in partnership with Spot, Saving Pets One at a Time, and KSBR Studios. Produced by Joseph C. McGuire and theme music by Stuardo Glasser.
Today's Pet Tip has been brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets, large and small, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at peoriapetcrematory.com.
Yeah, I like that. That's good bumper music. What's the name of that?
I don't know, but he says in there who does it.
Sounds like Stone Cold Cowboys.
Oh, maybe.
Well, let's see. You know what? I think it's time for the news headlines. I'm sure Mr. Weather will be here very, very shortly, but let's get into the news. sponsored by your hometown community banks divisions of Morton Community Bank. They have a number of locations in Central Illinois, 46 as a matter of fact, to serve you. Look for the clock tower, and you'll know they have time for you. A member FDIC.
We had another shooting in Peoria yesterday afternoon around 4 p.m., this time in the area of Moss and Douglas. Officers found a man who took a bullet to the leg. He was rushed to a local hospital. No other details released by police, including the victim's condition. We also hate to report that another gullible person seeking to sell an electronic item that he apparently advertised on social media became a victim of an armed robbery. While waiting for the alleged buyer in the 2400 block of West Proctor, he was approached by two persons, one who had a gun, and he was robbed of his possession. The Peoria County Sheriff's Department reports the arrest of 26-year-old Donald Shaw of Galva on a variety of charges. Shaw attempted to elude sheriff's deputies on his motorcycle at Harmon Highway and Airport Road. He was captured when his bike ran out of gas. Congratulations to the Peoria Fire Department. The department has received accreditation status from the Commission on Fire Accreditation International. The designation comes after 2 years of review and evaluation. That accreditation is similar to the evaluation process of hospitals by the Joint Commission on Accreditation of Healthcare Organizations. Democrat judges are still waging judicial war against the Trump administration. The latest attack comes from Florida federal judge Kathleen Williams, an Obama appointee, who halted construction at Alligator Alcatraz, the federal detention immigration center. Judge Williams did say ongoing processing of illegals could continue. The Democrat judge agreed with a left-wing environmental group called Friends of the Everglades, who claimed the facility was built without environmental reviews. Additional construction is halted for 14 days. Meanwhile, the Trump administration has filed a petition with the Supreme Court seeking to pause a lower court's restrictions on how ICE authorities can conduct operations in Southern California. The judge said immigration officers cannot use language spoken, location, or job as reasons to ask a person about their immigration status. Some of those Texas Democrats are still in Illinois, and Texas is still unable to hold a quorum to conduct a business in the State House. The business not only includes approval to redistrict areas of Texas, which would give Republicans another 5 congressional seats, but also includes approval of financial aid to people seeking to rebuild their homes and lives following those devastating floods. And those are the headlines, Roger.
Oh, that's wonderful headlines.
Infidels!
Oh, happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to dear one. Happy birthday to you.
Well,
39.
Yesterday was your birthday,
I think it's
and we're
the
celebrating today.
29th anniversary.
And
of my birthday.
I'm wondering if we're ever going to open the cake.
We're gonna make her cut her own cake.
We are going to cut the cake now.
Yeah. And I was hoping you'd wear your green uniform, to kind of add to the color of the event this morning.
No, I'm representing St. Mark's today, sir. We have a big event coming up tomorrow, which I've heard you talk about on this program.
Well, that's right. So we're excited about it.
I'm excited about it. It's going to be warm this year.
And you actually have a team shirt on.
I do have a team shirt. Yep, St. Mark's Men's Club.
St. Mark's Men's Club.
Yeah. I helped redesign the logo 5 years ago now.
I like it.
Thanks. Yeah.
Is
that a lion, a tiger?
Yeah, it's a lion. Just if you know the history of St. Mark, you're Catholic. Come on. Now.
Well, yeah.
And very handsome.
Now No, you're too kind.
Yeah.
That's
No.
so kind. Not as handsome as
Well,
Councilman Allen. Man, that guy, he dresses sharp. I tell you what.
Sharp dresser,
Andre?
very articulate.
He's a great guy.
He didn't hesitate no matter what the question. He bing,
Yes.
bing, bing, bing,
He
bing.
had an answer.
And
He's
he had
very
an
well
answer for it,
spoken, and I've told people this. I was telling
He's
Dr.
gonna run
Silvers,
for mayor in a
he's going to
couple
be
of
mayor
years.
someday. I'll put a lot of money on that. I think
Yeah.
he'll be mayor someday.
Okay.
He's-
Well, if Kyle puts a lot of money, he rides the winner. The guy is.
Were you betting on the preseason NFL games? I was wondering.
No, I don't bet on preseason. Preseason's no offense to the NFL and to the National Football League, but preseason's a joke. So
Can be playing. That's right.
yeah, preseason's absolute joke. Just like the Hall of Fame game last Thursday.
Oh, that was a joke.
It's absolutely.
They do put lines though on every one of those.
Yeah, they
games.
do. Yeah, they do. They make money. They make money. She's cutting her own birthday cake, but yeah, they make money for those
Isn't
watching.
that something? Yeah. Neither one of you gentlemen got up and said, "Here, I laid a knife out so you could cut it." She has to.
She's excited to try it.
Yes. Yeah. Well, while she's doing this, the weather's not a joke. It's muggy this morning.
It's very muggy. Oh my gosh, let's talk about the weather.
95% humidity?
Absolutely. Humidity's really trickled in, so it's a subtropical ridge. Yeah, it's a subtropical ridge. It's actually moved in from the southwest. So we've noticed an increase in temperatures throughout the week, but now we actually have the moisture to really pump up those temperatures. And I was really shocked that the National Weather Service didn't issue a heat advisory for our area. And the only way I think that they didn't do it is because the south winds are actually pretty robust. I think 10 to 15, maybe 20 miles an
It's
hour.
still going to feel like about 102
today, tomorrow.
out there, right?
Well, it would if there's
Okay.
not a wind. But because that south wind, I think it does provide a little bit of relief to keep it.
Okay.
I do think heat indexes will get up to 102, especially certain times in the afternoon today.
But you say it's not going to feel that bad because we're going to have
Because the winds is what's going to hinder that really heat, muggy, oppressive air that's moved in, and because of that, I think is why the National Weather
So
Service
it's
did
going to
not
drop
issue
quite a bit tonight.
a heat advisory. It usually does when the sun goes down, yeah.
70, well, really, that's genius.
Absolutely. I'm just saying, radiant heat
needed a
factors no
degree
longer
for
at play.
that.
No, it is. Yep, the radiant cooling. But no, we do have some storms. I'm really interested to see what takes place. So, and I was talking to a friend about
tell me
this
about the
yesterday.
rain. Tell me about the rain.
Yeah, it's the rain factor. So there is a frontal boundary coming in from the northwest. But the frontal boundary gets stalled tomorrow. And it'll be primarily over eastern Iowa and northwest Illinois. So I expect storms to develop along that frontal boundary. I don't expect them to get here until probably Sunday, which is good for the Taste of St. Mark's event and all events going on. The
Right.
Brimfield,
So no rain
Old
on
Settlers
Saturday?
Days. I would take rain out of your forecast Saturday,
Okay,
yes, sir.
right.
I
Well,
think the
just
rain
a
stays
chance.
to the
Maybe
west,
a little
northwest.
slight
No,
chance.
We didn't have
absolutely.
rain in the forecast.
Just
did
a
we?
slight chance. Like
Well,
tomorrow.
Well, you might as well say zero.
And if that does occur, it would be in the overnight hours, more so Sunday
Oh,
morning.
okay.
Yeah. But no, I am looking at a pretty impressive severe weather event in
Really?
northwest Illinois. Yeah. So north of I-80, eastern Iowa, southwest Wisconsin. I wouldn't be surprised to see some tornadoes fire off because lots of thermodynamics will be taking place. And we are looking at some really strong convective atmospheric potential output, particularly
our area?
no, to the north of us. Now, we'll have high Cape, but the humidity and the dew points will be so high, we'll have essentially a capped atmosphere. So nothing will develop over us until that frontal boundary gets closer, that real trigger that's going to set things off, which I think does happen on Sunday into Monday. And then that boundary itself, that frontal boundary will actually come to become stationary. It kind of hangs out for the early part of next week. Oh, thank you so much. Love cake for breakfast.
Then what are we talking about early next week?
So early next week, I would say.
temperatures?
So early next week will be
90s?
no. Actually, see temperatures in the 80s.
Oh, great.
Because we'll have that cool rain, cooled air from that frontal boundary hanging out, and those storms
So not as
continuing
much
to fire off.
humidity then?
No, I think humidity factor will be minimal, but then that frontal boundary retreats back to the north, and then we get another subtropical ridge moving in late next week, so Thursday, Friday, and we're back in the 90s for next weekend with heat indexes back in the hundreds.
Oh,
So yeah, so welcome to the dog days of summer.
Yeah, you bet.
yeah.
I hate to ask you long-range
Yes, of course.
questions, but
No, I love
you're
it.
up to everything. When do you think we're going to have the first snowfall?
I think the first snowfall. No, honestly, I always
you have an
shoot
answer for
around. Yeah. Well, so I look at we look at weather models and everything like that. November 29th, November 30th, maybe. So right after Thanksgiving. And I look at past climatological output. Right around December 6th or 7th, we'll see some snowfall in our area. But every once in a while, we get it right around Thanksgiving time. So I would say then.
I did it as a joke, and picked up and ran.
It's all over. Well, I'm like Councilman Allen. I have an answer for everything.
You know, that reminds me, jot that down because somebody gives away a snowblower if you get the right prediction.
They do, yeah. No, News 25 does. WE, our dear friends.
No. The hardware store.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but they advertise. No, you're right. The hardware store, correct. Yeah, as we all eat cake. For those watching, you understand why we're being so quiet.
Yeah,
For those not listening, you have no clue what's going on right
Well,
now.
while you eat, I do want to tell everybody.
Oh, yes, the
I
Taste
got
of
to
St. Mark's.
notice
Thank you so
about
much.
the
No, I'm kidding.
the Morton Fine Arts Association every year has a series like Broadway Theater League at the Peoria Civic Center. They have a fall-winter concert series, and they've announced what their shows are. And it's pretty reasonable. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shows for $100. That's, I believe,
That's a good deal.
$20,
Yeah,
pretty good.
that's a great deal.
It begins October 13th, Monday. A tribute to the King.
Oh, Elvis?
Which one?
So
that makes more sense.
That would probably
Martin
be
Luther.
Elvis Presley.
Oh, okay.
Followed on November 17th, a show titled Let's Hang On, a tribute to, who do you think? One of the big stars in the
Valley.
50s.
Richie Valley?
Frankie Valley.
Oh, there you go.
Frankie Avalon. Frankie.
No,
No,
Frankie
this is
Valli.
Frankie
Frankie
Valley.
Valli.
Mhm. I'm doing this, okay, Terry?
You have
And
to
this is
on the
Monday-
quiz?
Yeah, yeah.
Did you do
On
the quiz
Monday, December 8th,
Dang it.
the Gibson Girls. They've been here before.
Right.
Terry, do you go any of these? I think you do.
No, because on Monday nights, that's my bowling night.
Oh, okay. Monday, January 12th, Johnny W., a musical comedy. And on Monday, February 16th, Terry's bowling night, Sister Sadie. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 young ladies. They'll do a show.
Let me tell you about the Gibson Girls real quick.
You know them?
I don't personally, but I love what they do. They have taken part on almost every single Greater Peoria honor flight for the last couple years now.
I did not know that.
Yes.
Really?
They take their days off. They go with the troops. They sing to them on the plane. They go around to the
No,
sites and sing.
is that right?
They dress. Oh, they're amazing. They sing when they come back. They sing when they arrive. It's just yeah. Or when they.
Oh, they're young. They're kind of young.
They are an amazing, very talented group of young ladies.
Pretty gals.
Oh yeah. I mean, absolutely. But they're really, really good at singing.
So these are local
Do
gals?
they do like the Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy from?
Are they singing
Yeah,
the
they do all those
Peoria
songs. Yep,
songs?
all those World War era songs. Yep,
Good-looking
yep.
gals.
Yeah. For those viewing, we'll show you the poster. Ryan.
So they're local. They're local girls.
Well, they're down by
Gibson City.
Yeah, Gibson City. Yep.
Oh, that's
No, they're not down by Gibson. No, they're actually down by Springfield, Jacksonville area. No, they're down by Springfield, Jacksonville area. I think they're like Fulton County, McDonough County area. But they're
Well, that would be
wonderful.
Sangamon County.
Well, no.
If you talk about Jacksonville, Illinois, that's Morgan County.
That's Morgan County. Yep.
Yeah,
There you go. Much
big
better.
Republican county, as a matter
Right,
of
we
fact.
used to be.
Yeah.
No,
I thought it's her sisters.
I don't think they're actual sisters, but no, they're great though.
They're all great shows, and
Yeah,
they're held at what's the name of the theater?
The Bertha Frank.
Not a bad seat in the whole place.
And it's
there
a
is a
fundraiser.
Very nice
wonderful
venue. Very
Yeah.
nice
It's a
venue.
fundraiser for something?
No, it's for the Morton Fine Arts Association. I think it helps to support the Pumpkin Festival.
Oh, okay, cool.
They could use some more money too, I'm sure.
Yeah, I just wish it wasn't Monday night.
And
Yeah,
it's
it's
hard to
going
believe. Hard to believe. Around the corner, you'll start seeing trucks bringing pumpkins
Oh,
to the
yes.
pumpkin capital of the
Soon
world.
enough, my friend. We're
Was
gonna
the
remember
pumpkin
the way.
capital at one time in Eureka? It seems like many, many years ago. You don't think so? I thought Eureka was at one time a big pumpkin or
There are
pumpkin head.
actually other cities in the country that claim to be the pumpkin capital.
Well, the hell with heck with them. sorry about that, Lord. I lost my head.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's right.
Sometimes I forget we're on the air.
All right.
I think we're in the men's room at the Civic Center.
Thank you for this cake.
Wow.
It was wonderful.
Isn't that great cake?
It's the good
Well, it's
frosting.
your cake. You take it home.
Where's it from?
And Kroger's.
Oh, they do a great
Yeah,
job.
or
Thank you, Kroger.
lately because they closed the one in
Sterling.
on Sterling Avenue. That one is now known as Kroger's. Kroger's is no longer.
What did it say on it? I didn't get to read it.
Happy
What-
birthday, Terry.
Oh, well, okay, there you go.
You know, whenever whenever you buy a birthday cake, it's a roll of the dice. And this, we rolled the dice. This is a delicious cake.
Well, I'm so glad, because I don't like this, the buttercream frosting. This
Oh, thank you. I'm so happy. This is not buttercream.
No, the buttercream has some teeth on it, just too sweet. This is the good,
I
like
like
almost.
it, but there's a
we
lot
call
of
it
it.
Well, I'll
You
tell you
can-
what, let's for Roger and Kathy.
Well done,
Kathy
Roger,
picked it
Kathy.
out.
Okay.
You know, yes,
so much.
well, you know,
But
you have
just
to
paid
rely
for-
on
You
women.
just paid for it.
Well,
She
that's
did all the
all.
work.
That's all men are good for anymore.
You're moving back up the bar. If you took, got rid of that naked lady statue in your yard, you'd be in much better shape. But I'm just
Really?
saying, well, that's what I hear. I've heard some complaints.
You have?
Public indecency. He has
About
a
what?
naked lady statue.
Who?
Oh,
Roger does.
What was that?
actually, it's a Kathy's.
Oh, it's Kathy's statue.
Oh, the
Oh my gosh, a dream on of all
the
things.
naked statue that you.
Yeah, you just put your foot in your
I
mouth.
did. I thought the good folks in Morton were. Oh, so it's a Tremont thing.
No,
I
it's in
remember she talked
Tremont.
about it. It is Tremont.
Yeah.
Oh, that's even worse.
You could have.
We got rid of it, and now I'm back to using my binoculars.
Oh, that's a lovely statue.
For the neighbor, right?
Cover
I
it.
mean, it's very high class.
It is very high class. That
His
wasn't
neighbors,
cheap.
his neighbors boarded their windows. They didn't
You know,
they boarded their windows.
I thought about taking a collection for a bowling ball, but I don't know. Bowling balls are very personal, are they not?
Yes,
Because
they are.
you need to drill the holes where you want them to be.
Well, sure, where you
Because
fit
not
your hand.
everybody can. I remember when before I got my own bowling ball, I was in the hospital bowling league, and I'd get a ball, and sometime the one that I wanted, somebody else had.
Yeah.
And I had to use the, and if your fingers and thumb don't come out together,
It's dangerous.
it's
yes.
called gutter ball.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Or fall on your face.
Yeah, fall on your face. I did
Which
as
I've
well.
done that.
Yeah, exactly right. Well, since it's your birthday and we have plenty of time, Terry, tell everybody a little bit about yourself, where you were born,
there's Terry.
raised, and
Yeah,
educated,
yeah.
and so forth.
Okay, I was born in Augusta, Georgia, because Dad was stationed at Fort Gordon for the Army.
Augusta,
Yep.
Georgia.
I'm a
really?
Georgia peach.
Oh, wow.
And then when his stint was up, he came back to Peoria. So I'm Peoria basically raised. Went to graduated from Dunlap High School. And then I went to Eastern, graduated from Eastern with bachelor's degree in accounting. I did spend 8 years in Stevens Point, Wisconsin, thanks to my ex-husband.
I think that was a shot. Wasn't
A little
it?
bit.
Yeah.
Just, we love Wisconsin, but yes, yes.
Oh, no.
Because he moved there, or you were hiding there? What?
Yeah, at Stevens Point, were you in the forest?
His job transferred us up
Okay,
there.
all right, okay.
And I got rid of him after 2 years. And I stayed there because I really liked the town. I had a
Love
good job.
Yeah,
and
it's a
it
nice
was,
little town.
yes. Then I moved back home in '89 and had a variety of jobs since then.
You like numbers, don't you?
I do. I mean, that's my bachelor's degree in accounting. So, yes, that was my
You were
my
with
forte.
the Klusendorfs for a long time, were you not?
I was.
Yeah, you were a bartender there.
I was a bartender at the old Sky Harbor for
Now,
3 years.
Did you have a customer or customers that came in just to talk to you, maybe
Yes.
because they were unhappy at home, and somebody like you gave them the slip, and
Oh yeah, the bartenders are always like the shrink.
like the shrink, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, we had one guy, actually, he was a teacher at ICC. He taught.
You're kidding. What was his name?
Yeah, what was his name?
Yeah, let's drop names. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just public
Dennis, and you
incrimination
know I
here.
can't remember his last
He
name.
was quite a drinker, quite a drunk. What was his name?
Well, he was a drinker and a smoker.
Oh,
And he-
what
good
was this
combination.
clown's name? Is he?
it was Dennis something. I really don't remember his last name.
That's good. Yeah, I was gonna say.
I don't think
Well,
you should tell
Probably
us.
good that
No,
you
he's
don't
not.
remember his name, yeah.
He's dead now. He's deceased.
Oh,
He's deceased.
okay.
No,
Well,
his
well,
family
must be
was gonna mourn
nice,
this,
good.
but
Yeah.
But yes, there were many a night. He'd sit right down there at the edge where we did the glasses, and that old cigarette smoke came right at me.
Well, people listening or watching probably want to know how you got to know Roger. How did you end
Yeah,
up on
that's
the
a great
show?
question.
That's a good story. You,
Okay.
My wife
you
asked me that, and I said I had no idea. He probably dated her.
tell everybody.
I started listening back in 2002 because it was you were on WOAM, which is my kind of music.
Yeah, exactly right. And you were forced to listen.
No.
No, okay.
But I also, of course, I'd met Royce several times, so I knew who Royce was. So
Oh, he hung out down at the
comes
Sky
Sky
Harbor.
Harbor quite
Yeah.
often.
He hung out wherever there was food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was a regular listener, and then let's see, would have been, I've been here 6 years now, so it would have been 2018, I believe. You were running a special for around Christmas
For
time.
newscasters. For you were running a special
for
friends?
advertising.
Running a friends
good man.
special.
And I happened to see the flyer on Sean's desk. Now,
Oh, yeah.
Sean is John Meisinger's son-in-law.
Sean.
For the auto
Sean
dealership.
did. And he was the general manager of the Morton Auto Auction.
Oh, okay.
And so I said, oh, I listen to that all the time. Can we do that? And Sean goes, oh, I don't care. So I called Roger and I said, we'd like to do this. And he asked me to write up some copy, so I did.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I don't know, about a week after that, you called and said, would you like to come on and talk about the radio or about the auction? And I said, oh, no, not me. I'm the bookkeeper. I'm in the back. I don't know, no. And so I went to Sean and I said, Roger would like you to come on the station and talk about the auction and that. And Sean's next response was, this is your thing. You want to do it? You do it. I'm not doing it. So I called Roger back and I said, well, Sean won't do it, but he told me to. I said, but keep in mind, I'm the bookkeeper. I stay in back. I count the money, I pay the bills, I do payroll. I know a little bit about the auction, but not enough to give you the answers that you're going to want to know. Oh, come on, anyway. So I did. And then he called me about a week later and said, you've got a great radio voice. Would you consider coming in and helping with the news? And so I said, all right. I talked to my boss, and he said, okay, you can do 1 day a week, but you got to be here by 9 o'clock. So, boy, after the 8:30 news, I hopped in the car and I flew over to Morton.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I quit at the end of May 2019 to be my mom's caregiver.
Mm-hmm.
And Marge said, oh, great. You're retired now, and pick up another day.
There you go.
And then, so I went from 1 day to 2, and now it's 4.
Oh, wow.
And that is how I became a radio
And
friend of
I
Roger's.
think we all agree, a wonderful addition to our program.
Amen. We're so blessed to have it.
Yes.
Speaking
certainly
of
are.
blessings, we have another birthday boy just outside the studio right now.
Yes, come on in.
Yeah, he should
We
come in
also
and
have
come talk to
Teresa
us.
Barker's checked in and said that she's listening, and Andre Allen posted on the chat room, thanks for having me. Have a great week.
Oh, it's Ed Hammond.
Ed is in the house.
Have a seat.
It's your birthday, Ed?
It was his birthday, right?
It was on Tuesday.
On Tuesday.
I've been staying away from the show because now that you're live streaming, I have a face for radio.
We all do, yeah.
So I've been staying away.
And for those watching the live stream, what shirt is Ed wearing? Surprise, surprise.
Bradley Braves.
I wasn't planning on being inside. I was thinking about putting a Bradley shirt
There
on
you
since
go.
Roger had his
Roger
on.
has his Bradley shirt, yeah.
Good
I didn't
idea.
think I'd be in here, so I'll just put the chief shirt on.
Well, we got the word that you learned that we were going to have cake.
Yes, I got
and you
the-
couldn't get over here.
This morning that there was cake there.
Hey, you can't go to Perkins anymore.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
And you
You
can't,
can't go to the diner,
Yeah,
Cece.
we're limited.
No.
Have to go to the expensive places now.
Now, when was your birthday? You just had a birthday when?
Tuesday.
Tuesday. Well, happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Harry Kingdom. Happy birthday to you.
And you know what? We have a little time. We did this for Terry as she talked about her background and so forth.
Yeah.
Where are you from originally?
Chillicothe.
Yeah.
Been here all my life.
And your first radio job was it at
First radio
94.3?
was 94.3. It was
Owned by Bill Bro.
No, it wasn't.
was
it
it?
was owned by Bill and Helen Engelbrecht.
Oh, the Engelbrecht.
And
Yeah.
Helen's
Yep,
been
yep.
involved with
Right.
plays and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So it was WCLL, and then it turned to WTXR while I was there.
Oh, wow.
And so I left there to go to WIRL a little bit before Bill Bro took over.
Okay.
Larry Weatherford was
Did
the
we
GM.
ever, we never worked at the same station together?
Did we work at MBD for a while?
Well, I was there for a while,
Together?
but I can't remember what year.
Yeah, I know.
I was,
yeah, it all
when
runs
KZ
together
went
anymore.
on the
I think might have. Yeah, we
Yeah.
might have run
Yeah,
We might have
maybe.
crossed paths in the hallway.
Yeah,
Yeah, going to the men's
Were
room.
you
Brian.
doing TV though?
Yeah.
Were you doing? Did you do TV?
We
over there?
were, well, our station was at the TV studio for a while when I first got there. When I
Now,
first
were
got
you
to
downtown
WBD.
or no? You were on University.
We were on University,
Okay.
and then we moved downtown.
All right, I'm going to interrupt you
Okay,
and
sure.
let our Mr. Weather Guy give a last minute plug for.
Oh, Tasty St. Mark's.
Oh, Tasty St. Mark's.
God bless
you.
you.
were frowning at me. I thought.
No, I wasn't frowning. I was so happy. All these birthdays were celebrated. I know.
Remind everybody what's happening.
Yes, Tasty St. Mark's is tomorrow. It is a wonderful festival. It's a cheap festival, in my opinion.
There we go.
Really good price. Yeah, we gotta get
Should
it.
be 25.
It is at St. Mark's School. It is all you can eat. There are restaurant vendors. There are family vendors. You go around to the booths, to the tents. You get your serving size. You can keep eating till the food runs out. $15 a person, 40 a family. So cheap. If you want water's free, bottled water's free, but soda and beer is an additional purchase because we have to make money somehow. There's a 50-50 drawing. And then dessert dash in between the two bands. Two great bands tomorrow. First one takes the stage at 6. Next one takes the stage at 7:30. We hope you can make it out as a wonderful fundraiser for St. Mark's School, going into its 129th year of teaching on the West Bluff of Peoria.
Great event. Have a great weekend, everybody. Remember, God loves you, and so do we.
Starlight Express, answer me yes. I don't want you to go. Want you to take me away, but bring me back before daylight and in the time between. Take me to everywhere, but don't abandon me there. Just wanna say I've been. I believe in you completely, though I may be dreaming sweetly of the Starlight Express. Starlight Express, are you real? Yes or no? Starlight Express, answer me yes. I don't want you